As a friendly reminder, Frequency Studios, Wrangler, Trippy Soul, Never Evermore, the Lord, I know I mispronounced that, the Lord Otter, and Radar Productions. We are not medical physicians. We are not doctors. We are not giving medical advice. Proceed.
That's right. I'm an otter.
Exactly. Do you want an otter giving medical advice?
And I am the personification of tinfoil hat.
And I'm a
I
bird.
got kicked off.
I do
We have
way
a
too many
bird,
drugs.
we
You
got
don't
an
want to listen to
otter.
me.
Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios. We got another Wing It going on, and starting off with us today, Raven Nevermore. How you been?
Busy. I had a painter show up, and then while I was dealing with them, the photographer showed up, and then the realtor showed up. So,
No, that doesn't sound stressful at all.
no,
Better
Read
show
out.
up than throw up.
Good point.
true.
Read out. How you doing today?
Boo.
So just
Boo.
as stressful. Herman.
I threw up. No. Actually, pretty good. The wife just read my prologue for my next book, and
Yeah.
she's given it her thumbs up. So
That's a good
Good.
start.
that's a good start. Hope the rest of it doesn't suck.
Oh yeah, there is that, isn't there?
Yeah, that whole. I have one good chapter in about 23 chapters. Anyways, Gino
Maji.
threw up.
Maji, how's it going?
Hello.
Anyways, Gino threw up.
So,
You hear the delay going through?
Echo.
Maji, you are queen of the echoes right now.
It's not me. Oh, yes, it is. Ah.
Hey, but at least we're not hearing that smoke detector right now. But I'm sure when Billy Bob Sack shows up, you'll turn it back on just to mess with him.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. I wish he'd just buy the damn battery.
Oh, shoot. I forgot batteries for the remote.
Uh-oh. Well, speaking of which, thank you for reminding me to plug in my computer.
I just
True.
realized
That
that.
could be bad.
Drippy Soul, what you got going on?
not a whole lot. Just surviving the heat down here, and been reading Catch 22. Got through a few more chapters today. Probably after this Winging It episode, I'll read a couple more.
Cool. And speaking of
Good
winging it, we got other people joining the conversation. Starting off with, we already know Gino's here. Gino, how's it going? And he says, "Now I want wings." Guilty, how you doing, man? Thank you, but I didn't do that. You can thank Mr. Readout for providing that thumbnail.
Hello.
And we got AS Bernard down here as well. How's it going, AS? And Mr. Mindflayer, how you doing?
Hello.
Welcome to the madness.
Hey, it's deleted.
My mind's already been
Yeah,
flayed.
You have mines?
I have mine.
Oh, wow.
I do too. I have Vines, Twitter, and Truth. And I hardly do anything with any of them.
I know. I feel bad. I never get on my mines account. I don't do anything with it.
It's like every once in a while I
touched
see
it.
something cool and I remember, oh yeah, I can post it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Just for the heck of it, I'm going to drop my link for Truth Social. If anybody even bothers with that, then by all means, come look me up on there because I don't know anybody over there. It's kind of echoey.
Echo.
On Twitter?
No, on Truth. I don't have any. I don't have any connections over there, so it's just my profile page, and that's it. Nobody on it. So it's just if you go over there, you're going to see pretty much just a string of weekly Wing It links, and that's it. Ultimate Kahuna, what's up, man?
Yeah, well, you should see Royce's Facebook page. It's
I
pretty
don't
much the
have
same thing. It's
Facebook.
just links to Drink the Crazy stuff.
Yeah, the only thing I use Facebook for is talking with the parents and sister.
I used to have Facebook, and the only thing I used it for was getting into arguments and making myself look stupid. So I eventually said, you know what? I don't need this anymore.
If I still have Facebook, I'm a freshman in college. That's
Did
the
you ever
last time
read?
I've been on there.
Wow.
Did you ever read the bio I posted on my Twitter?
No.
And I quote, "I had to create this Twitter for a meme involving Confederates."
Nice.
I like the
rarely
old
use it.
meme. I like the old meme that says, I scrolled so far back on my Facebook timeline, it turned into MySpace.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
remember
bummed.
MySpace. Hi, Kohona.
Jonathan Rosenall, welcome.
The John is here.
As is Andrew Campbell. He says, sup.
So
So what's
Go ahead.
I was about to ask, what's worse, Disney having a yard sale or Mickey becoming a scab?
Oh no. It's
So
gonna be
I
weird.
hear a lot of
Upset?
people talking about the whole strike thing, and some people saying, you know what, they need a strike on this one. Others are saying, I don't care, let them all fight with each other. They don't matter anymore.
I
Like,
actually want to
there's-
watch the movie of the results.
Yeah, right. It'll be better than anything the writers are coming up with.
I
nowadays, that's
honestly
for
think
certain.
the Disney boardroom drama right now would make an amazing movie.
Yeah, it would. They would.
What's
They
going
would
on
need
with
like a
Disney?
behind the scenes show for that. It'd be way more dramatic than anything.
Well,
producers.
with the strike and everything going on, it pretty much shut down a lot of what they were doing. Now, it's not just a writer strike anymore. It's now the Actors Guild is striking. However, I do agree with the reason they're striking, as I currently understand it. Opinion definitely subject to change upon revelation of further information, but for what I can tell, they're trying to take actors and pay them studios want to pay them a one-time fee to scan their face and pretty much use their likeness, and that's it. That's all they get paid, and the studio can go on and just superimpose them into scenes in any
Well, look what
production they
do with
do
Darth
from then
Vader's
on.
voice.
Oh, I heard something about that, but it was just for like the background characters, not.
Well, yeah, it
primary.
might be, but I mean, it's like if somebody's trying to,
It sets
you
a
know,
precedent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that too. But there's a lot of people who made successful careers off of just being a background character. I mean, you turn on any TV show during the 80s and 90s, and you're going to see in all the cop dramas, all the, the just one and done characters that show up. You see them play 2 or 3 other characters in that same manner in another cop show and in another, primetime TV show. They're all, they make the rounds. Their faces get recognized, and people make lucrative careers just out of being an extra. But that would be taken away if a studio can make all their extras just computer generated. If they own the rights to your face, then who's to stop them? I don't know. What do you think? Should this type of stuff not be done at all, or is there a reasonable line? And where, if so, where would that line be?
I don't think there is a reasonable line. Look how bad Darth Vader's been treated.
Well, as far as like actors' faces go, eventually they could just do AI generated faces, just random people. That's not, they don't exist, but they look real enough, and they throw them in the background, and that's absolutely no one. If anything, it's going to cut off the job of the extras, the actors, and stuff like that. Yeah.
And if somebody like a producer says, "I'm going to take a picture of my face and my brother's face, and I could make a bunch of people that look like we're related to but don't actually exist, and no one can stop me," you know what?
Mm-hmm.
That's his own pictures. I guess that's fine. But, real people is a thing. We kind of need that for some authenticity. One thing where I think it was okay, and this was a heated debate at the time it happened, was Brandon Lee in The Crow, since he died during production. And there were heated arguments going on that they should just not do the movie at all. And people like, no, he died trying to make this movie. He would want it out there, but they use computers to superimpose him in scenes that after he had already was passed, so they could complete the movie.
yeah.
And
I've been doing that too.
that was just as divisive then as AI is now. But it was just that was an isolated incident back at that time, so it didn't continue on in debate. Now we got it we have the tools to do that almost with our home computers now. So
And it's about using likenesses. Like I definitely wouldn't want my face to be scanned and then found out that it was used in something that I'm ethically against. You know, I'm morally against that stuff. But there I am. There's my face promoting these things. I'm like, no, not
Well,
allowed.
Well, Apple, I tell you, it's a similar story. I've got audiobooks out. Apple put into their submission agreement that any book done through the service that I use, uh, which is Findaway, eh, that any book that you submit to Apple, you agree and consent to having them um, take the audio from that for use in their AI training. And I didn't find this out until like April or something. So
Oh wow.
and they gave a thing where you could tell them to opt out of that. Well, the minute I found out, an email went out, and apparently the backlash was so strong that that they scuttled that whole thing altogether, because a lot of authors say, "Wait a second, no, 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 you don't get to build your models off of my books." So they're doing this stuff. They're doing this stuff kind of by what's the word I'm looking for? Less than, or through stealthy means. And the thing is that you're like, I don't know if you can actually copyright your license, this, that, or the other, but you can, if you've got content, you better protect it. And guess what? Now Apple is providing free voices to read your narration to make your own audiobook.
wow.
Yeah, I wonder where those voices came from.
Yeah.
I will use my crappy Yinzer accent. Thank you very much.
So, and I mean, I got a really good audiobook. I got a really good audiobook narrator. Oh, by the way, they're doing it for free. So they took all those voices and now they're giving that stuff away for free. Oh, that was scummy. That was some really scummy crap, and it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe if I do an audio version of my book, I want it read by someone in a program that sounds like Sam Kinison. Just have it shout the whole thing. Just yell through the whole thing.
Gilbert Gottfried.
That'd be a good one too. Same kind of thing. Yeah.
And then how Cedric lifted his blade. That was a very big blade. It was very, very big.
You're too good at that. I actually want you to read a page in that voice. Would your throat survive, though? I don't know.
Oh, probably. Hang on. I just did. You want me to read you? You want me to read you?
Well, I want to answer this question. I want to answer this question for Guilty. He asked Mr. Mindflayer, who died. I believe he's referring to Brandon Lee when he was filming The Crow. Let's see, Jonathan Raznall says, owning their life. Oh yeah, let me put up what it was actually a good. Okay, here we go. What happens when an actor starting acting career as an extra gets scanned, then gets a breakout role with a different studio? Who owns the likeness? Yeah, does that kind of bar him from appearing in other things if they own his likeness? Is there some kind of...
that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That seems like it shouldn't be allowed. You can't own the likeness to my face. That's my face. That's I own
Jonathan
that.
Rosenall says, owning their likeness would basically mean they own their soul. LOL. Plastic surgery would probably get a boost in business. Maybe they can only do voice acting after that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Willing to sell your likeness. It might be a little bit of soulless.
Ultimate Kahuna says, I could scream it. I don't know. Are human beings allowed to have that much fun? Him screaming the whole thing, heck yeah, that's going to be a blast. Just because it's Kahuna, it's going to be hilarious.
Do you want me to do my Gilbert Gottfried voice on some of my new material?
Actually, yeah, go for
Please
it.
do it. Please do.
All right. It's chapter 3. In the amber glow of the small fire,
Rowe inspected a large sheet of thick paper that Health Center provided him. Fingers stained with dust and grime. Felt the edges of the document. It was a very big document. Noting the smooth feel and weight. Feels like hide, he remarked, sounding a little surprised. Thin, though. There you go.
That sounds painful.
I don't know
Yeah.
where did you get that stuff.
Leon
Yeah, I told you,
Fuego
Herman,
and
I could finish your
Stormtrooper
book in
joined
one
the
day.
chat.
What was that again?
I said I could finish your book in one day. I started at 1, finished it before the stream.
I'm jealous. I really am. I wish I could read that fast.
Don't worry, eventually I'll be reading through yours frequency.
Well, that one kid at the last Comic-Con I was at, my first Comic-Con I was at, he read through it he got through about 3/4 about in a few hours, like maybe 4 hours. So he was nearly done. So
Yeah,
it's
but it
small.
was he just speed reaping, skipping over stuff.
No,
'Cause I wasn't doing that.
'Cause not only do I want to
on a
learn to-
counter to that, slavery was legal for many years and still continues illegally. So, watch them.
Yes, we're shortly going to be discussing a movie that addresses this subject.
Yeah, if you want.
It'd be a legal mess if that actually went through. Because then you'd have fucking like Warner Brothers and Disney like slugging it out.
Well, but
One
think about also the
face.
actors who insure their themselves.
Yeah. Angelina Jolie got insurance on her lips. Jennifer Lopez got insurance on that.
Yeah,
butt
but
of
we're
hers
talking that's not
because-
the same as copywriting.
because that is valuable and must be protected. I have my priorities. All right. The self is the basis of private property rights. You are owned only by you. This likeness stealing shit reeks.
There you go. That's a
I
base
agree.
comment. I like that one. Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, sorry about the disconnecting there. I don't know. I think my internet didn't like your Gilbert Godfrey impression. Just totally crapped out
Yes.
my bad
But-
Gilbert Gottfried impression.
right there. Just-
It probably quit. Just out of
Internet's
spite.
Like, no, can't hear this. Save me.
With the power and intensity of your voice, you overrode Trippy's Wi-Fi signals and knocked them offline.
Yeah, legit.
Like a cyber banshee.
Sparks started coming out of his PC. Smoke.
And it smelled like a burning hedge. So, how many of y'all saw the movie?
I saw it.
See,
Not yet.
I seen it. I seen it yesterday. Maji saw it, and I think Readout saw it.
Yep, but we're not going to go into spoilers, are we?
No.
We don't have to. Not all of
It's
us have
just
seen it. I'm indifferent to
historical
spoilers for the
event.
most
It's
part
based on true
myself,
story,
but that
so.
doesn't mean everybody listening is.
I'm
although I
familiar
think the
with this-
finale is purely fictional, so
I'm familiar at least with the story because I remember the interview with him, the actual guy that did it, like way back when, and that was quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean the island raid was a real thing, so that's why I thought it was so bogus about the whole QAnon thing. Because again, this was written like 6 years before QAnon was even a concept. you know?
Yeah, Q's first post would have been October. Was it 29th or 30th? I first found the Q post on October 31st. I know it was like a day or two before he started posting, and I thought this is like grab the popcorn. This is fun. You know me. I love a good conspiracy theory. They're endlessly entertaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was what year was that? That was like 20.
That was 2017.
2017 is when that started.
And,
so
and most
technically
people,
it predates the movie.
the movie that they started writing the script and everything. For
But
that
okay,
movie
but they wrote the
a
script.
few
so
years
it's true.
before. Yeah, that they started work on that movie before Q became.
And I
a
think the
thing.
island raid itself, like the real raid, happened back in
2000
2013 or 15.
2014, I think.
It was a
14,
long
yeah.
time ago.
So it happened. The real events happened way before any of the QN conspiracy actually happened. That's the point they're trying to make. So that's what inspired the whole writing, the story, those events. There isn't like anything remotely like political about this movie. Really, it doesn't get political at all.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
talked
I-
about
like jurisdictions of
we
the
talking about
Homeland Security.
the movie that
Sound of
starts with
Freedom.
sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, just
It
making
starts with
sure.
sound. But we
You
can't
know-
say the freedom part. We're not allowed to say freedom on YouTube. Is that a bad word?
I don't know. You never
I
know.
know, right?
You
No,
know,
he had a
never
clip
know.
of Mel Gibson's Braveheart shouting "Freedom!"
freedom. Anyway,
You can definitely tell it was an indie film, and it wasn't particularly well written. Like some of the dialogue, I felt was kind of flat to begin with, and not as deep in acting and characterization. That one Don, what was that Don guy that always had the cigar? He was my favorite character. I liked his acting. He had a great performance.
Oh, Vampiro.
Yeah,
He's
Vampiro.
played by Bill Camp.
That's probably why. And then it was kind of weird because the movie had the final act in it, which felt like it made it drag on a little bit longer when it should have. Like it climaxed too soon. Giggity. But the island raid itself was like the whole main story of this movie. I don't know if the other part, like the whole Colombian extraction bit, was extra. If they like
No, it's real.
that happened too.
That's how he got the sister back. It was in the interview with Tim Pool.
Interesting. I thought that was more the story.
It
for the
didn't
writing,
happen
like,
exactly the way that they portrayed it, but
well, yeah, no,
it happened it happened. That's how he got the sister back, was the jungle extraction.
And then they just started going to town getting everyone else. You know.
It will be interesting whenever the kids are able to give their interviews.
But honestly,
The
when
only-
it did that one line where you knew it was coming, and Don Vampiro was like, "Do you hear that?" And all the kids are, clapping and stuff.
Say the line, Bart.
I know, it's like he's gonna say the line. It's like, that's the sound of freedom. And the guy next to me is like, oh, like he didn't anticipate it. I'm like, you really didn't anticipate that was gonna happen,
It's okay, but it was said by the best
No?
character, so
He didn't.
I just envisioned Peter Griffin in the audience going, "Ha!"
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much
that was kinda me.
this guy's reaction. I knew it was coming because the question, like, you hear that, and I'm like, okay, I know it's a sound. What's the sound? Yeah, Okay, a little gimmicky. I don't know about how. I
Well,
felt
you
about
gotta
that.
also remember though, these weren't independent writers, but English was definitely not their first language. It was.
Oh yeah, it was mostly in Spanish.
No, it's not even that. Okay, the whole movie was filmed by Mexicans. It was written by Hispanics. It was directed by Hispanics. It was produced by Hispanics. The only reason why the English lines sound real, like especially when they're talking in the Homeland Security office and stuff, was because the real Tim Ballard helped them write it to sound like conversations that he would have at work.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it's not that they're indie writers. It is they're like the director himself in the interview on Tim Pool said that he couldn't even speak English till 20 years ago.
Okay.
So it's not that the writing is shallow. It's written in a way that like you're learning English.
Yeah, that explains a lot actually, because the dialogue between Tim and his superior in the offices, and of course they got a better actor. Like I've seen that face before. To do those lines too, definitely felt like it was a different dialogue from like some of the scenes in the parking lot and stuff like that when they're talking, especially when the opening scene when he was with his Homeland Security buddy busting that pedophile. The dialogue kind of between them, like when they're trying to convey how this job like kills them, it just didn't feel like that emotional.
Yeah.
But
But that's what it is. It's not
yeah,
that
it's
it's so
indie.
much necessarily indie. It's Spanish being translated to English.
yeah, so it's hard to convey that emotional translation, I guess,
Yeah.
using the right
I
words
mean,
and everything.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, the writers
Especially using
do-
words that are not your own.
the writers do speak English, but I mean, most Hispanics when they speak English is more formal English and not, the way we're talking
Yeah.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But that's Latino Slant was one of the few willing to cover this movie that's not, or that's in the U.S. That's Latino critics.
And-
The reason for that is he's like, this is a Hispanic movie. This is Latin representation. 90% of this movie was made by Latinos, but nobody's willing to cover it because it goes against Hollywood's agenda.
Yeah. By the way, did any of you happen to experience any difficulties at the theater, or everything went as normal?
None. It was fine, and the theater was packed. Everyone was
Everything
watching
was
this movie.
fine by me.
Oh well, I can't be one to judge that because I went to a mom and pop owned theater and they can't afford to lose audience.
Yeah, same.
I didn't go to one of those big AMCs.
Well, that's what I went to. Mine's at AMC. But I don't know. San Diego's a little different down here. We're highly military town. There's a huge population for military families and stuff like that. So this type of movie is definitely going to attract that family, and they're not going to do anything to mess with that demographic because it's the military. You don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I
that's probably why it was
heard
packed.
that the head of Angel Studios came out and addressed the whole theaters making it difficult issue, saying AMC's been very good to them and one of the best people they've had the chance to work with as far as in distribution goes, and they don't think that AMC is trying anything shady.
I think if there's sabotage, it's on the
Individual level.
Yeah, there's some
probably
left-wing nut
employees
that
or-
works there.
Your social justice
Yeah.
warriors that are operating there.
Yeah,
What
it
don't
is
they
weird.
do?
They're always so the activists on the left will always interject themselves into everything else like that when you don't see it from the other side. It's like, you know what, you guys on the left back off just a hair while you guys on the right turn it up a notch. Can you at least balance each other a bit? I mean, it's pretty lopsided, and I don't think I like the idea of it lopping either way.
So, Christian
Go
was
for it.
asking earlier about if let me go pull back about the true event, how true were the events in the movie. So I don't know too much on this topic, but the little digging I did before I went to see the movie, the island is based on the real life Operation Triple Take.
The necklace is real too.
Yeah, according to I'm at their website, says the movie shows are right on an island. This is one of 3 coordinated takedowns that happened that day in Colombia.
Yeah, it was far bigger than the movie it depicts.
Yes.
Stormcrow, that's too far.
Take it easy, Stormcrow. Yeah, when they started mentioning the island thing, that's when the little conspiracy theory kind of like minded thing sets in and like, oh, are they talking about Epstein Island? Is this like an Epstein Island thing? But no, it's actually they did this. This is a real thing. I like how they put the CC footage,
maybe
like the actual
Epstein
footage.
Island
Actually,
the sequel.
Peter Hollins has a music video on YouTube called "Scars to Your Beautiful." He actually, it's still there. It's still up. 6 years ago, was doing something with Operation Underground Railroad. He has the footage of the raids. He has more of it than what you see in the movie, in the music video.
Oh wow.
That right there is debunks basically this whole Q thing whatsoever. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah.
I was watching the credits, and I'm like, I've seen these rooms. Where have I seen these? And then all of a sudden, the song started singing in my head. It wasn't the one that was in the credits. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen these.
How did they get how did Disney release the rights to it?
Basically, they're broke, and
Yeah.
Angel Studios was able to crowdfund the money to buy the rights.
Okay, that's why I'm just asking.
They flushed their company so bad they had to sell them on a fire sale.
I heard something about them. They're trying to sell some other stuff as well.
Yeah, they are apparently.
they're out there.
Iger came out, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and said something like they're going to halt a bunch of their Marvel stuff and a bunch of their Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, here's the funny thing is it won't matter. They still got that alien $80 billion check to pay on.
Yeah. But
One last
so
song.
Yeah, what exactly is that? They're stuck in a contract, like they have to pick up the bill for something, and they just don't have the funds to do it.
What are you talking? No, they bought Fox for $80 billion.
No, well, I mean, I thought they were like they have kind of a
it's the Hulu thing that
something.
they have
Yeah,
to pay
Hulu.
on.
Yeah, they kind of gotta pick up the slack for the rest of Hulu or something, or cover
Yeah,
some expense,
Disney got
and they just
into a
don't have it.
Disney got into a bidding war with Comcast over Hulu. And then when they bought Fox, they ended up buying because Hulu was divided up into three portions: Fox, Comcast, and Disney. Well, when they bought Fox, they became 2/3 of the owner, and Comcast and them made a deal that they just buy it out, so that Comcast isn't part of the agreement anymore. Well, that was before Disney went broke. Now they got to hurry up and pay Comcast by the end of next year.
And they won't.
Yeah,
They got to come up with like $27 billion or something like that.
Yeah, and what was it?
It's a lot of cans and bottles.
The lawyers basically done math and shit to figure out how much actual spending money Disney has, and it's something like maybe 200 million.
Ooh.
Their actual cash.
Now that sounds like a huge chunk to us, but with the overhead and expenses they got to deal with from day to day, that will whittle down very quick.
Yeah,
and their parks aren't doing well anymore. They're starting to lose people going to parks.
Oh, yeah. I saw a picture of Main Street USA on what was it, WD's Pro? Somebody's today. It's empty. If you would have told me 14 years ago when I was working there that the freaking main park would be empty, I would be thinking magic hours, not middle of the day during tourist season.
Yeah, you know, they had properties where the properties would have bought a money printing machine, and they decided to basically flush their product for an agenda, and this is the result.
Yeah, because like I said last week, they could have released this themselves and raked it in, and it would have earned them some good faith with people too.
Probably would have earned them more money because they would have the marketing for it. Sound of Freedom,
and they didn't want to be associated with it. Why?
Why?
Because this was before the political stigma they're trying to attach to the movie. They already didn't want to touch it. And again, I wonder if it has something to do. If you look at Disney's old cruise criteria, one of the stops was Little St. James Island.
I remember Frequency. They didn't have to publish that movie under Disney anyways on their brand. They have other brands they could have published.
Yeah.
Technically, it was made for Mexico.
What are you drinking, Royce?
Yeah, Maji, but they still wanted the full-on American audience.
Oh, yeah. Do you blame them?
And I want to say it's not uncommon for English-speaking films to be produced in foreign countries. I mean, the French have done it many a time. Look at The Fifth Element for that example.
All those spaghetti westerns. Chinese.
Look at Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spaghetti westerns because it was cheap.
Hang on, I gotta go check to see if there's something wrong with my smoke detector. I'll be right back.
Get a battery, Billy.
Now I gotta do a review for his book.
Watch it, smoke detector.
Listen, all I'll tell you, Herman, it's very good, but I do have some nitpicks on it.
Everybody's got a nitpick. Everybody's a freaking critic.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
I'm waiting for the nitpick here.
So am I.
Yeah, I ain't saying it on here.
Yeah, you're saying it.
There's a certain word that's used in the beginning that kind of messes with dialogue, and I didn't like.
Yeah, I know that. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
I got beat up on it. I got beat up on it once already.
Like, here's the thing. I had to look it up because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know what this word means. I looked it up and I was like, okay, the actual using it in the context completely makes sense.
Are you allowed to put that on YouTube, regular?
You just did.
The problem is when you're reading it and reading the dialogue with it really fucks it up.
Herman, have you learned nothing from Hollywood? You are not responding to this criticism correctly. First,
Yeah, that's
you
right.
have to call him a bigot because he has problem with another culture's vernacular, which makes him a xenophobe.
Yeah.
Secondly,
He's a
Not to
man.
mention misogyny.
secondly, he comes from
mansplaining,
gremlin privilege.
I want to mansplain to you.
Hold up. Green lives matter. Stop putting the green people down. Okay.
What? Why do you hate hedges, Billy?
Excuse me.
Oscar's going to come in and knock your heads together, set you both straight.
Technically, gremlins would be considered a trans race, wouldn't they?
Well, they're definitely
They go through a metamorphosis.
Yeah, they transform.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, can you turn into a truck?
I can try.
That's so 2022.
Yeah.
This is 2023. We've evolved since then.
Okay, can you turn into a electric truck?
I heard the new Transformer is not doing too
That
great.
is racist, sir.
You know, a lot of
That's
movies
good.
aren't doing too
Michael
well
Bay.
right now, Trippy.
It's
Yeah.
bad. I've had hopes for it since Bumblebee was good, but it's bad.
Oh, you saw the new Transformers?
Yeah,
No,
It is bad.
it's bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
that's
actually having a glimmer of hope there that I thought it would be worth watching.
They slipped in a bunch of unnecessary racism.
Yeah, but mind you, we knew this because the moment what was it? The trailer came out. The director was immediately pushing the race baiting shit.
Well, it's not even that. It's just how they portrayed it. Okay, so ignore the whole we already knew it was going to be woke on the human side, right?
Mm-hmm.
They totally ruined the Transformer characters themselves.
How so? Because I mean, in the previews, they were looking more and more true to character
You
designs
should
this
look at what
time, and
they
I was
did to
getting psyched
Wheeljack.
up.
They made Wheeljack like this hippie love bug, hippie
man.
love bug Colombian.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not.
Is this like
making
the
this
third
up.
version of Wheeljack in this continuity, or what?
I have no idea.
Because last time
And
we
then-
saw Wheeljack, they made him look like some kind of messed up Einsteinish thing.
And then they freaking took Mirage and gave him Jazz's form, so that he was a cross between Mirage and Jazz.
I want to definitely call attention to Andrew Campbell's statement. There is only one Transformers movie, and that was back in 1986.
True.
Sir,
Yeah.
I salute you.
I mean, there was some decent. The one fight scene at the museum was good, but the end fight scene, you're like, how the hell?
Come on, continue. This
Okay, so
rant
you
ain't
guys,
over.
you guys don't mind
Spoil it.
spoilers?
Spoil it, yes. We don't
No
care
one
about
gives
this
a
crap
fuck
movie.
on here.
Okay,
except maybe
I already
so-
watched the
No,
full
we
mental.
don't.
Josh
like,
gets
on
his
it.
ass kicked by the Terragons to the point where he's
Oh my God!
practically-
You ruined the movie for me.
Yeah, no, right. Where he's practically dead. You got the Maximals and like 3 Autobots fighting to keep the space bridge open. Well, they're trying to shut the space bridge because Unicron's trying to cross into it, but they want the space bridge for themselves. Anyway, so Mirage almost gets dead, so they give him. You remember in the '80s movie how Spike had armor?
Yeah, the exosuit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Mirage literally turns his body into the exosuit and gives it to a human.
Oh, is that why that guy was wearing it?
Yeah.
Oh, it gets
I
better.
mean,
It gets
it's
so
not
better.
a stretch. They ride around in them like cars. So
It gets so
But-
better though. So Optimus is about ready to die and gets sucked into the space bridge, but we know this is 20 years before the Bayformers, so it's not going to happen. What the kid
Wait,
with the exosuit manages to grab Optimus's Prime's hand and keep him from being sucked in by holding him.
Wait. This
I'm
is still
not
going off of
making
Bay
this up.
continuity.
A little human in an
Yeah, it's a
exosuit
prequel.
is
It takes
holding
place
in the
Optimus
90s.
Prime.
Why not just reboot it?
Yeah, right. No,
Well, I
this
mean,
is a
some
reboot.
people were claiming that maybe this is a reboot and they'll go into the modern times and just ignore Bayformers. But I mean, that's just speculation. We don't really know.
Guys, you're looking at this all wrong. That's the power of love.
Yeah.
But there was an interesting thingy after.
And
you
love
know,
is
everything
love.
was-
Anyways,
After everything was, somehow he managed to hold a 8-ton mega robot on this little itty bitty exosuit, and managed to save the day. They mixed in GI Joes at the end. That was the only interesting factor.
No shit. They're like legit GI Joes teased
Yeah.
in.
So the kid starts out. He can't get a job because he got dishonorably discharged from the military. That's where they throw in a bunch of racist stuff in. Is everybody interviewing him says we can't afford to have your people and da 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 da. And anyway, it's stupid. But anyway, the
Like,
guy at the end's
were trying to
interviewing
do-
him for a job and then slides his card over, and it's the GI Joe initiative.
Hold up. So he's dishonorably discharged, but that's due to racism.
Well, no, that's part of it. Why he can't find a job now, because he's untrustworthy.
This is in the 90s.
I mean, he's
That doesn't
dishonorably
happen.
discharged. How's that equate to racism?
I was
That's the
working
point.
jobs in the 90s, and I worked with people who were dishonorably discharged. They had no problem finding work.
That's
Yeah.
that's the point. I
Doesn't
don't
right
think he was
yourself.
dishonorably discharged, but he was discharged, and his officer refused to give him a good review. Like they'd call him, and they're like, "No."
yeah, that the dishonorably discharged has lost the meaning that it used to have. Back a long time ago, if you get a dishonorable discharge, you were kind of screwed.
Mhm.
But now
you
I
could
want to.
still find still find work. It's not
Yeah,
like you
but-
were barred from some. You had to start all over. Sometimes that meant going and
Yeah,
flipping burgers.
his idea was quote unquote going to charity event and liberating a car for
What?
charity.
How do you liberate a car?
In other words, they broke into a place and tried to steal the car, and it turned out to be Mirage.
Well, first they invaded
Yeah.
the island.
But they were calling it charity work. He's like, no, I got a charity job. They'll pay you well. And he's like, dude, we're stealing a car. No, we're liberating the car because these guys can afford it.
What?
Yeah,
That's
no,
in
he's
the
a
movie.
he's
I'm
a
not
pretty
Oh
making
good
it
my
up.
god!
The family unit kind of sucks in the movie too. His mom's in it for like one scene, it looks like, and then just disappears. So
Well,
you don't really get
he
a
ends
sense
up-
of.
It's more a
anything.
brotherly love thing. But even then, like his brother's sick, and the hospital director won't treat his brother anymore until they pay the bills. Every
That's why he's
terrible
feeling sorry.
person in the movie is all white.
Of course, that's
Of course.
a necessity in Hollywood.
Par for the course.
Which
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, I don't care about race. But they just put so much unnecessary race lines in there. It's just like, why?
Because they're racist, Maji.
Mhm.
They're absolute fucking
They're-
racist.
They're all activists first, doing a job second.
And seeing that
What
we've talked about
exactly is
Sure.
an activist in 2023?
Kill
What were you
'em.
going to say, Herman?
and seeing that we're talking about both GI Joe and Transformers, I'd like to put a plug in for comic artist I know, Brian Shearer, who worked on both Transformers and GI Joe. I think still does some work for GI Joe right now. I'm not 100% sure, but he also has a comic out called. Okay, now I'm having a freaking brain fart. The Gunship Thunder Punch, which is basically a Transformers like type story.
Well,
Great guy, does live streams. And
Do
all
we
that
have a
other
link
stuff.
to that? Is that on
I'll get
Amazon? Is that on?
Well, no, it's a
crowdfund?
it's crowdfunded. It's already completed, but I'll get you the link to.
Yeah,
his,
let's definitely check that
Yeah,
out.
I'm
to
interested.
his he's an artist.
To me, they have pretty much killed Transformers.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty much dead on
In the
arrival, in my
end.
opinion. When Michael Bay had it, I didn't like it to begin with, but then you look at the newer ones and compare to the original Michael Bay, it's like, oh my gosh, that was actually a good movie. Now you got to compare it to this shit. To answer
Yeah.
Stormcrow's question, my favorite fight is just that the war in the 1987 movie when it was all out transforming Cybertron City and everything like that into the whole fortress.
Hold up.
Yeah,
you mean
there was a
Mickey
lot of
Mouse
fun
didn't want-
scenes in that. especially when Starscream was involved. But,
Yeah.
I hated the intro. They killed all my favorite Autobots and made them pansies in the first 5 minutes.
I was 10 years old watching that happen on screen in the theater after, the first 2 seasons. I was freaking big on that show. And when I saw that happen, I'm like, what's going on? No, they're fine. I've seen them take worse in the TV series. They'll be back. That they're not back. What the hell? It threw me for a loop. And of course, when Ultra Magnus got repaired, everyone thought, oh, they're going to go do that for Prime now, and they never did. But, continuity is not its strong suit, not by a long shot.
My favorite is still the Robot Chicken prostate cancer, where Optimus Prime turns into a coffin.
What?
That's how he dies, like transforms in a coffin.
Okay, so
Robot Chicken's Voltron scene was pretty cool too. That was one of the better ones.
Robot Chicken is Robot Chicken, and they did a little short where Optimus Prime caught prostate cancer. And at the end, he transforms into a coffin, and everybody starts bawling like they do in the movie.
Wow.
My favorite Transformers battle was also from the '86 movie, and it has to do with Unicron, a specific part of the battle. Now, for those who haven't seen the movie, Unicron, he is a giant planet, eats other planets. He's pretty much a transforming Galactus, and they tried to stop him by detonating an entire moon inside him when he consumed it. Didn't even dent him. However, during the final battle, along come the Dinobots, come flying by, and we hear me Grimlock kick butt in the Dinobots. This guy couldn't be dented by an exploding moon, but then the Dinobots proceed to literally rip him a new asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody loves dinosaurs.
Hold up.
Especially Grimlock.
Are you wanting to use the word literally on that?
Yes. They literally ripped him a new asshole.
Literally.
You've seen the movie, right?
Literally.
So they done what to him?
They were flying down. They went straight at his butt, and Grimlock says, "Me Grimlock kick butt." They transformed into Dinobot mode, and Grimlock landed feet first on Unicron's butt, put a big old dent in it, and then what was it? Was it Slag or Sludge came in next, breathing fire, put a big old hole right in his butt. So yes, they literally ripped him a new asshole.
Wait. So you're telling me that they have an opportunity to have some gay representation in the next Transformers movie?
No, because
you just
got
ruined
blown
it.
up. It's just head now. Yeah, the more opportunity for skull fucking.
I didn't say that.
Nope.
No, you did.
Did
I
not.
got you on footage. Caught in 4K.
All right. Here we go. Is this it?
Yep, that's Brian Scheer.
Brian Scheer.
He also does
comic book artist and writer. He also does what?
He also has I think it's called Whatnot. He does, I think, like weekly Whatnot streams where he just draws stuff.
Oh, cool.
He can take commissions. And the guy's freaking hysterical too.
So we have a link. Let's see if we can find a link to that comic.
Oh, hang on. I think
go to my
it's on
portfolio.
It's on Indiegogo.
Or go to
Indiegogo.
too.
Radio Gaga, Indiegogo.
There's a link in the top right. Says my portfolio that Readout was pointing
My
out.
profile. That goes to Twitter.
I was going to guess link.
Oh no, I misread it.
There we go. I got a link for you.
All right, he does the G1 style. Awesome. So he did these?
Yeah. I'll get you. Okay, where am I?
They're gonna have to bail out the theaters again. If there's like another massive drought of content that's coming.
With
Well,
what?
There is.
I don't know what. I'm just saying.
They have no money to
Hollywood
build them
sucks.
out with right now.
Well, I wonder if Snow Brown and the seven magical people is going to help them.
That'd be
Yeah.
stopping production full on.
Okay, so I didn't care for the pictures, but my favorite was when Disney's like, "Those
Oh.
aren't real," and then they're like, "They're just stand-ins, so they're real. They're stand-ins, not the real actors. Stand-in sets, so they're real costumes."
Mm-hmm.
What are
Yeah.
you spending money on, Disney?
Holy
That's what they're
crap!
gonna
They
look
look
like.
like the real ones.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I did it again. I was over there scrolling through, and then I realized, oh, this isn't on the screen, so I just got it up there. But yeah, this is straight up
Fire,
G1.
Optimus- Oh yeah, no, this is
This
G1.
is perfectly on model.
Almost
I'm not
makes
sure
me
what
want
I
to
did
nerd
there,
out.
but
Mm-hmm. What the heck?
oh, Thunder Punch. Here we go.
Gunship Thunder Punch.
Let's put the two links to the campaigns have already ended though.
Okay. Martians captured Nova Marca's son. Her only hope in getting him back lies with a convict, a gun-toting hillbilly, and an old transforming gunship. What she doesn't know is that the ship is alive and not happy about being abandoned for 30 years.
So the Transformer has abandonment issues.
Yep. Ooh. Preview time.
Gunship
Make sure
Thunder
they don't have
Punch is
copyright
back.
music.
This second graphic novel in the series picks up where the adventure began in the first 80-page book. And if you missed book 1, don't worry. You can get on board with books 1 and 2 in this Indiegogo campaign. Martians kidnapped her son, and Nova Marcos has one chance to get him back. Her only hope lies with an outdated transforming gunship, a convict, and a gun-toting hillbilly. More mutants, more Martians, more ships, more sci-fi robot adventure. During this campaign, you can get exclusive extras like prints, trading cards, and original art. Time is limited, so get in now. But hang on, there's more. This book comes with an original synthwave album. Immerse yourself in the adventure with an original
cool.
soundtrack inspired by Gunship Thunder Punch. Get your quarters ready to go.
That I like.
And press start on Gunship Thunder Punch.
I'm in.
Comic
Yeah.
book with a soundtrack to go with it.
He's a friend of I think Mark Miller, and and a very good art. And the guy's freaking hysterical. Catch one of his live streams, but you got to keep it clean. So good community over there. He's also got a Discord channel, Shearer Town, I think it is.
Nice.
All right. Now the chat got way far away from me. All right, guys. Let's catch up. What are you guys saying here? Let's see. Not sure what song you're referring to, but he was Herman, do you know?
All you need is love.
Oh, okay. Yeah, speaking of which, that synthwave thing he put in that that's such a great idea.
Hey, Blacklist Universe is in there.
Is in where?
Chat.
Oh, no kidding. How you doing, Blacklist? Good to see you. See, LOL, is there anybody who didn't enjoy the first Transformers in 2007 when it came out? I freaking loved it, but I was young. I was very soured on it because I was one of those, those crazy fans that get kicked off of forums for running their mouth too much. I was one of them. And because my biggest gripe was I couldn't stand the new designs. I was like, this is messy. It's busy. And then I saw the movie. Hey, cool battle scenes, but that's about all it was. I was expecting certain personalities out of the characters and certain dynamics that I over expected what they were producing. And
Hold
so
up. Then they called you a bigot.
No. This is back before. This is when you were allowed to dislike a movie and not be called an istophobe.
I miss those days.
Yeah, right. Don't let my Twitter feed fool you. Okay. There was more character development in one episode of G1 than in all the modern movies. Actually, yeah. And I went back and watched some of those G1 shows. You know, I'm feeling all nostalgic. And do yourself a favor, don't.
Hi,
As
Blackface.
an adult, the shows are so corny, and they're
Yep.
better off in my memory.
Yep.
But you're not wrong. The personalities were far more developed in an episode of G1. Just the introduction episodes, the personalities had more depth. It was unreal. And this is a kids show as opposed to a big budget flick.
Try going back and watching Power Rangers.
Oh my gosh.
I had trouble
don't
with
do
that
it.
to begin with.
Don't do it.
No, I never got into Power Rangers. I watched a few episodes here and there, and when it's on, I would watch. But at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of cool, but it's so
loved Power
corny
Rangers
too.
as a kid.
And then
I
the Green
couldn't
Ranger
do it.
came along, and I thought he was cool, but you know the Green Ranger didn't last long. He eventually became the White Ranger, and I just didn't think that was as cool. I don't know why.
Because it wasn't. Green Ranger was badass. The comic books are really good. If you want to read something as a adult Power Rangers, check out the Boom comic series that they're doing. They have a whole like Shattered Grid and alternate timeline type story, like a future war going on. It's like Days of Future Past with Power Rangers. It's really good. Highly recommend the comics.
Guilty Gear says, anyone watch that Transformers cartoon from 2007?
Which
Is that
one?
Transformers animated where the stylization was similar to Teen
No,
Titans?
I think that's part of the Cybertron series, the 2007.
Oh, okay, was it the
Energon,
Unicron trilogy?
Cybertron, and Armada.
There was a animated babies Transformer show, and I mean,
Oh yeah, it's Rescue Bots.
What?
It's still popular.
God help us all.
No.
Stormcrow, you're
It's
pushing a
not
little
as
tough
bad as
tonight,
you
dude.
think it is.
Dial it back a bit, please.
Andrew's statement about G.I. Joe in the style of Jason Bourne might be interesting.
That would be cool.
And as Gino says, LOL, that's horrible, but funny, but horrible, LOL. Yeah. Yeah, there's some things that are just too far over the line for public. Oops,
Guilty
and I
Gearhead,
didn't mean
which
that.
one were you talking about? Now you got me curious.
I did too, Andrew Campbell. That was like an event. I was wired for hours after that.
I wasn't born yet, but I watched it once I realized there was a movie.
See. He said Stormcrow says his favorite Transformers fight was Optimus versus Sentinel. That was in Dark of the Moon, right?
You're talking about the third one?
I think so. Because that was
Sentinel.
I think.
Sentinel was in the third movie.
That's where they killed fucking Ironhide just out of nowhere. Just killed
Yeah,
him.
that pissed me off with like some kind of weird version of the Cosmic Rust.
That's all I know. I know who Ironhide is. He's the big ram truck.
Yeah, that was a good alt mode for him, but he should have been red. He should have had that Southern style cadence to his voice when he
Here's
spoke.
the thing. He was the only Transformer that actually showed up in all three of the movies was Ironhide. The ones from the first movies, I know they're supposed to be on their the original Transformers, but they kind of just disappear after the first movie.
You know what pissed me off is how they did Drift in that movie. Or is it the fourth movie he shows up in?
Who?
Drift. One of the Bayformer movies they did Drift and they totally did him wrong. Pissed me off.
Yeah, he was kind of like a samurai instead of a rehabilitated villain.
Yeah.
I have a question. Has Michael Bay done anything right in the 21st century?
Didn't people like the Bad Boys 2 or something?
No, there was that ambulance movie that he did.
Bad
recently
Boys
with
that
Jake
was terrible.
Gyllenhaal.
I actually like The Island with Obi-Wan. Ian McGregor.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
Gino, that's great.
Disgusting. Yeah, Michael Bay's got a style to him. It's not, highbrow stuff, but you should know it's not going to be highbrow. It's just like this. This one YouTuber, this channel, Film Mento, described it as the three B's: butts, boobs and booms. So it's always going to be like, you know, a supermodel and explosions in there.
Yeah, that'll put butts in seats.
Yeah. So he has a formula.
Yeah, he's the head.
We're gonna have to go talk to Gozer on this one.
I'm the keymaster. I seek the gatekeeper.
What? Christian? That's not the one I'm reacting to. There's the one at the bottom.
Okay, I'm not quite there yet.
Oh, you'll get there.
Okay.
I'm not a huge Transformers fan, but there was a series that premiered on 2007 on New Year's Eve. See, that I was working at Foxwoods at the time.
Maji,
so what came out
Google it.
around then?
Pull it up.
Yeah, you're right, Maji. That is still during that Unicron trilogy series. So that was probably Armada then, right?
Maji, you're going quiet on him.
I said I'm pulling it up now, but I bet you it's Armada or Energon.
The Rock? What the fuck name movie was The Rock?
That's the one with Sean Connery and.
Yeah.
Oh, The Rock's
Nicolas
great, but that's
Cage. Yeah.
the 20th century. That's not the 21st century.
They set that up in the way where you could just consider that a
Bond
sleeper
movie.
sequel to Bond,
Yes.
and it'll fit.
Okay.
You remember that
Backstory-
one Michael Bay Transformers movie where there's a whole propaganda piece about underage relationships being okay? What?
I don't
Are
know.
you,
why.
are you, I
Yes.
missed that. Are you serious?
Christian, tell us which one it was.
If you're referring, I saw anything Bumblebee on. I have not yet seen.
Okay, so there's one of two options. It's either the last season of Cybertron or it's the Transformers animated that came out on Cartoon Network.
All right,
They
that's
were
the
wrapping
one that
up-
looks Teen Titans
2007.
like.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
it ran from 2007 2009.
So that's probably the animated one then. The one that looks like Teen Titans.
Oh, so like he was in the four. I haven't watched any past the third ones. I know he was in the fourth and fifth one. I think maybe the one with Mark Wahlberg is just one the same. Or Gino saying.
Yeah, 2007 to 2009 was Transformers animated.
When did Prime come out?
Prime came out, I think, during the second movie. Here, let me look.
Prime came out.
As I'm asking, Stormcrow comes out with, "What are your thoughts on Transformers Prime?" Well, great minds run in the same gutter. Thank you.
Okay, Transformers Prime came out in 2010.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
what's
that's
any of
definitely
that?
not that one. No, I thought Prime was pretty decent. It was obviously they did it with the tone of the movies, but they brought it in personal, a lot more personal with the character development. Mostly written by Roberto Orci. I don't know, was Alex Kurtzman on that project as well?
Yeah.
Because as much as he pisses us off, he can actually sometimes
right.
do something a little right. A
That
little.
is right. 2009, the second movie came out, so Prime came out during the second movie.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I thought Prime was, for the most part, well done. And, you know,
I couldn't get over the Bayformers.
it pissed me off what they did to Cliff Jumper right off the bat. I'm like, oh, cool, Cliff Jumper's back. We haven't seen this character in anything in a while, and then kaput. I'm like, oh, come on. You know, and Stormcrow, just a little addendum to about my favorite Transformers fights. Supplemental, anything involving Power Glide. Because that's always fun. Although Rumble and Frenzy always make everything a blast too.
I hate what they did to Rumble in the second Transformers movie. Or was it
And
Frenzy?
it was the first one. It was Rumble or Frenzy. I'm not sure which, but they only had one of them as far as I know. And yeah, he didn't make it out of the first movie alive. And then We saw Ravage in the second movie because Soundwave deployed him
And
when
he
he was
wasn't
hanging
cool
out in
either.
space. Yeah, and then what? Just to have him killed in an instant by Bumblebee later on in the movie, it's like, well, this is kind of ending it quick. I mean, this is Ravage. He's the
Yeah,
cool kitty cat.
I think the only character that I actually remember from the old cartoon series was Bumblebee, and I was just like, that doesn't look like Bumblebee in the movies. And then he died in what, the first movie or the second movie?
Who?
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
No, Bumblebee's still alive. They never killed him.
Yeah. Now,
Did they-
now the
Did
original
they trash the
Bumblebee.
car or something?
They destroyed. Okay, so the first movie, BMW didn't want to be part of because they're like, you're a Michael Bay, you're just gonna make it a war movie, and so they didn't give them the rights to have the bug in it. So they destroyed the bug at the beginning of the first movie just to prove a point. But the
Oh.
Bumblebee based off the Bay Farmers is actually Hot Shot with Bumblebee's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bumblebee had his own personality in the original series, and what's cool is his voice actor was the same guy that did Spider-Man from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends with Firestar and Iceman. Wasn't Firestar actually invented for that show? Didn't exist as a character before?
Maybe. I know they did that with a couple of the characters over the years.
You know what? I think I'm stuck in an in-between generation.
Sorry.
Everyone here is either older than me or younger than me, and I'm sitting here stuck in the middle in this limbo, having seen a Spider-Man cartoon no one else knows about.
We're hijacking the stream to Transformers. I think we're killing Readout. He's screaming for help, man.
Oh no!
I do remember that cartoon barely, and I just saw a couple episodes with the kid, and I was fascinated with how bad it was. Now that I'm an adult looking back at it, but I think at the time I remember watching that, and it was the coolest thing ever.
All right. Good luck at work, Andrew, and may everything go smooth till all are one.
All in one.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I'm surprised the franchise is still going in the movie theaters. They're not really commercially successful, are they? They can't be making the money.
Enough to keep making another one. People
Apparently,
go and see it. It's a
like 6
popcorn
on them
flick.
now?
Not this time. This time, Bumblebee revived hope, and then this movie killed it with the director before it hit theaters.
Stormcrow, I have not played any of the games myself, so I cannot answer.
Oh my
at all.
gosh. Okay,
I heard
the
it was
War for
good.
Cybertron game is amazing, but it's on an older console. Good luck finding that again.
Mhm.
James, how you doing tonight? Need to rename this stream to Why Bayformers Sucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides Sound of Freedom, the next I've never been thrilled to go see like movies. The only movie I really want to see next is Oppenheimer. And even Christopher Nolan, I'm not like that big of a fan on. Like he's kind of Michael Bay-ish with his own little gimmicks, but he's a better storyteller, obviously, than Michael Bay. So obviously I'm gonna see it for that reason. But the whole subject matter also fascinates me. I'm definitely gonna see Oppenheimer.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing I want to see.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't think of thing. There's Asteroid City, which is Wes Anderson, but I don't want to go to theater to see a Wes Anderson movie.
yeah, I'm the same
It looks
way.
too quirky. I get Wes Anderson's quirky, but the trailers just make it seem like it's
Too
playing
much.
the whole "we're funny because we're not funny" shtick.
See, when I was growing up, we had Star Wars. When I was growing up, it's like, summertime was the blockbusters.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I remember when Star Wars came out, or no, it was Jaws. When Jaws came out, it was Jaws, The Sting. There's a ton of great movies that all came out during the summer. And I mean, that's when Star Wars happened. And Star Wars literally came right out of the blue. Nobody expected it. Became this massive hit. People are going and seeing like 10, 20 times. Of course, this is all before we had video and all of that. And, whether you like the movie or not, it was a fun movie. and it was something new and different. And that's the problem that we have is we've got nothing new and different and fun. It's basically a bunch of rehashed properties
Yep.
that they just keep spitting out new sequels for. And it's like I was done with frickin' after Transformer was after number 2. First one was fun. Second one was okay. I had no desire to see number 3. And it's like Star Wars after The Force Awakens. I was done with that too. It was like
Mhm.
this is not the Star Wars I remember. I mean, it had a couple of funny parts in it, but the rest of it, and I did like Adam Driver and his character, but the rest of it was so utterly forgettable it wasn't funny. I Solo was meh. I did kind of like Rogue One, but I mean, it's like I can't see basing an entire franchise off of that.
Yeah.
And
Rogue One.
I think that was
opening to
intended to be a one shot to begin with.
yeah, and I'm glad
Yeah,
it was
Rogue-
because it wasn't that. It wasn't.
Rogue
it
One
wasn't.
was the opening of Rogue One was such a fucking
Have a good one, James. May the words flow
Such a-
freely.
awkward. The opening to fucking Rogue One, if y'all remember.
Mhm.
You don't even get like the opening to Star Wars. It just goes bam.
Yeah.
It opens and it shoots everywhere. They changed that on like DVD or something because it's not like the way it was when it came out in theaters.
But so it's like, and I think if I remember correctly, Ghostbusters came out in the summer. All of these iconic movies that started these franchises were stuff that people just came up with and did. And they were able to pitch it and sell it. And now it's like they're just trying to milk these franchises for all they're worth, just by constantly churning stuff, kind of even like less than passable content in and rolling it into the franchise. It's just it's depressing.
Well,
It really is depressing.
The other thing is everybody would go and hang out at the mall because it was cooler there than outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then you go to the movie and hang out at the movie theater.
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, it was just like you went to the mall to go hang out, and the movies were always in the evening when you had a date.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of the reason why there's nobody dating anymore.
True.
But yeah, so it's really is depressing.
We don't have many romance movies to bring a date to, like, when things like Deadpool were in the theater.
Hey, Deadpool's a great date. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, freaking Aliens came out in the summer. Oh, that was such a that, and I really wish somebody would bring that up and put that up on the big screen. That was such a great movie in the theater. It was really was.
I suspect
They have
that
well, I mean, haven't there been theaters that done re-releases of it?
I think so, but
Sometimes I would think.
it's local.
Yeah,
I
small
suspect
ones.
that theaters are going to be re-releasing a bunch of older stuff to survive the strike.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. Yeah, no, I already
Which is
see. they're
good
doing it
for
online.
me. Good for me.
Yeah.
I will go watch Twister, Aliens, Jaws on the big screen, even though I own them all on Blu-ray.
Twister was awesome.
Yeah, but it's not the big screen.
I would love to see the first Jurassic Park again on the big screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
Do you guys think that there has to be a change in the general movie theater, just their regular general business plan? Because culture has like been going through some shifts, and do you think maybe they need to do something to reinvigorate people wanting to be at the movies?
I don't think the big cinemaplexes are a thing anymore. They don't function anymore. Small theaters, family run, mom and pop, that the people, townsfolk put money in to keep them up and running because we want the experience. That's where it's at.
And I kind of disagree. I think you can still do the large cineplexes because we have Imagine up and around here in this region, and you get the comfortable seats. They have a bar there. There's a whole experience. I mean, you can go eat freaking dinner there and watch a movie.
See, that's what my small theater did. They ripped out the 3 full rows of seats, put in 2 rows of recliners, put beer on tap. So then that way you have like the VIP seats and you can have, alcohol could go for anyone, but
But if I could
they
sit,
had to make it more of a experience than just
and if
a
I
movie.
if I could sit down and be comfortable without being crowded into a seat, because I'm not, I'm not exactly a thin guy, and I'm not small anymore either. I'm an adult now.
I want to ask y'all a question. When's the last time you've been in a theater? What was the last movie y'all been in a theater that was packed to the gills?
Sound of Freedom.
Last night.
Mario
Sound of
Brothers.
Freedom. Yeah, Sound of Freedom. This one. But before that, nothing. I can't think of one. When I went and saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, that was empty.
Guardians of the Galaxy, I think. It was either Guardians or it was Dungeons and Dragons. I think it was Guardians because I think Dungeons and Dragons was ending its run and Guardians was just starting.
Guardians was empty for me. Indiana Jones, the only seats full were the recliners. There was nobody in the front seats.
The first It movie, the remake one, that one was like every fucking seat was full.
Mm-hmm.
Even Endgame wasn't like that, or Infinity War for me.
Honestly, I'm not a good gauge because when I go see a movie, it's typically at the local theater and it's typically Sundays because it's an early screening. And they've already told me straight up Sundays are their quiet days.
Yeah, well, when I went to see Mario, it was on a Sunday during matinee time, and the theater was full, which surprised me. It also surprised me how much more expensive it was to go to a movie than from the previous time I'd been to a movie a few years prior.
You could thank the economy for that one.
Yeah, Frequency said, I might just end up spending $30.
No. 4 tickets and a little bit of food. Not much. 4 tickets and a little bit of food altogether was over $70.
Yep.
Oppenheimer tickets are $12 a piece right now.
Matinee for me is $15.
That's why that's on the local, or not the local, but in the town next to me, the big town. They got a big theater there. You just go on Tuesdays when the tickets are $5.
Timo, he says, "Howdy, boys. How you been, man?"
Oppenheimer's the first film I've ever pre-registered tickets for, and I had to do it for AMC, and I really don't like my AMC that's nearby. It is the worst, but I want to see this. I want to see this as soon as possible.
Yeah, how did that dude goes from what, Peaky Blinders playing like a cold-hearted gangster to being the nuclear scientist?
It's because Christopher Nolan had him in The Dark Knight as Scarecrow. So
he was
Dark Knight.
the actor.
He was. I mean, he's been all over the place. He was the one who did 28 Days Later. He was also in Sunshine.
28 Days Later.
He was the main character in 28 Days Later.
Yeah, the guy that woke up in the hospital. That's him.
And he was also in a sci-fi movie called Sunshine, which, by the way, I might add, is an underappreciated gem of a film.
But directors will do that. They'll come across, they'll work with this individual and they'll like their performance and they'll go on with it. So yeah, Danny Boyle used him in 28 Days Later. That's why he's in Sunshine. Christopher Nolan liked his performance in Dark Knight and everything, so he moved him. He probably, he just knows the actor. He's seen him in everything else, so he wants him as Oppenheimer. He thinks he's got that look, that little got look to it, and the mannerisms, which he probably does.
Have you seen Peaky Blinders, Trippy?
No.
It isn't bad.
Is it Netflix?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't have Netflix. Canceled it.
I don't have Netflix either.
Me neither.
I think you yeah. I think you can also get it on Prime, but I could be wrong.
Ooh.
Gina has a question for you.
Yeah, I got the tickets for Thursday night. The one theater about a half hour from here is showing it Thursday, so day early.
I wish my theater would show it, but they had chose Barbie.
I may go up to the IMAX theater.
Well, Barbie's a kid movie, though. Kid movies tend to bring in the crowds for them.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah. From some of the stuff I've seen from Barbie, that doesn't look like a bad film. I hate to say it.
I don't know, man. Some of the flags you see in the commercial is just like, wait, what?
I hope it's not a bad film, but I don't really have much faith. Granted, it's from your saying, I don't really know. So
sometime later this week, Readout's going to get to test his voice acting.
No, there's not going to be voice acting. There's just going to be a lot of sadness.
Listen, you're gonna play. What do we fucking pick for you? Dumbledore. Dumbledore. I
Dear
forgot who
God.
else. Oh,
Local,
Dumbledore and Snape, I think, is what we picked for you.
local Cinemark has 2 Indian movies.
And we
One
picked
is in-
Maji as Lupin and Hagrid. It'd be funny.
How did Maji get roped into this?
How do
'Cause
I
it
get
was in-
roped into everything?
Listen. It's gonna be fun.
You show up.
Also, Maji doing Hagrid is gonna be fucking hilarious.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah, do it, Maji. Do the line. Do the line.
Dude, you know I can't go deep, you dumb.
You don't got to go deep. Just do the line.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah. You,
Listen,
Gosh, was
everyone
that
give her a
recorded?
round of applause. Round of applause.
Ooh. National Lampoon's Vacation 40th anniversary showing is going to be in my local theater, July 16 and 19. Oh, the 19th.
Jesus, fuck. Chevy Chase is old.
Well, yeah. That does happen with people.
yeah.
But you're ancient, Herman.
I need to.
Time is the fire in which we burn.
And yet I have a youthful presence.
Youthful, is that what we call it? I'd say childish, but all right, youthful. I'll take that.
Child.
You're like your
I'll
main
do-
character.
I'll
except
do
you
childish.
age really bad.
As I say, I may be old, but I make up for it by being real immature.
I just call Walmart Wally World all the time
Yeah.
because of that movie.
You know,
You want to take your shot at that moose?
Sometimes, yeah.
yeah. The other thing too is that they've made a remake of the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah, they're doing it again.
It's like they already. It's not. I don't even think it's like 10 years old.
Yeah, but
Actually,
it's gonna be Owen
No,
Wilson.
no,
it's
on it.
20 years
Wow.
old.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
almost 20
Jones.
It came out in 2000.
Wow.
And it was. I mean, it was kind of a fun movie back then. But I mean, really, is anybody clamoring for that?
No.
No one's
No.
asking. That's the thing. No one's asking for these movies. No
Yeah,
one is
nobody's
asking,
asking
for
for
this
these movies.
It was
still make
funny. It made
Hold up.
it turned Mickey into a scab.
Herman, it is literally 20 years since Haunted Mansion.
No. Okay, so you guys heard about this, right? All the actors went on
that's right.
strike literally the day before the premiere of Haunted Mansion. Disney couldn't cancel it, and since it was at Disney World Haunted Mansion, they said screw it. So all their villains from the parade were invited onto the red carpet and became stand-ins for the red carpet
Oh
with
my
Mickey and Minnie.
God.
And
That's
Mickey
actually a
Parade.
good
Wow.
idea, I think.
Are you talking about this year or 2003?
This year.
Yes,
This
right
year,
now.
right now. They made Mickey and Minnie
Oh,
a
wow.
scab because they couldn't cancel the red carpet event. So they screw it. They threw all their Disney characters at the premiere.
But why not? You know, what else
So I
are you
just-
gonna do?
so I just
Clownfish
realized-
TV covered this earlier today, and I thought that was hilarious. Sorry,
Yeah,
what were you
so
gonna say, Rito?
Cruella DeVille got her own private seat. So did Maleficent. Like they invited all the villains.
This
Maji,
is just a real life like Mickey
Wow.
Playhouse, wasn't it?
watch
like a
it
show,
come
like, in
out
Rose
that none of
Thousands?
those actors and none of those people in the suits got paid for having to fucking go out there and wear the suits in the fucking seat.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No, what I was
They
gonna
just
say
under
is
duress.
if it's 2003, that means it's the 20th anniversary of Pirates of the Caribbean. Why doesn't Disney just re-release that film in
Because they're
theaters?
stupid.
They'd
Read
make
out.
more money.
Read out. Why don't they re-release fucking Star Wars, the original Star Wars, in the fucking
The
theaters?
uncut, unedited.
Yes, unedited, uncut, maybe just enhanced like the despecialized edition was the fan one. Just do that. You'd make so much fucking money.
What's funny is they sell Life Day merchandise at Galaxy Edge,
Galaxy Edge is dead.
but they still sell the Life Day merch at the park. Like the
I
Christmas.
know, but the park is dead. It did. It lasted maybe 6 months or whatever, a year, 6 months.
No,
Yeah,
you're thinking of the Galactic Star Cruise.
Yeah, but the Galaxy Edge too, didn't they?
no, it's still around, but the problem is nobody wants to go to it because they don't recognize the planet.
God,
But yet it
everyone-
miraculously looks a lot like Tatooine, but isn't Tatooine?
Weird.
The
Because
whole
they
Star
did,
Wars
because it was
universe is
Kathleen
just a
Kennedy
desert.
didn't want it to be Tatooine. It was originally supposed to be.
You know what I find hilarious? Andor's prison ship. That was actually filmed inside Galaxy's Edge. The prison ship transport during Andor is actually the stupid hotel.
Oh gosh.
Maji, what was it? Fuck, I'm going blank now.
I do that all the time.
I know, but I was just fixing the fucking. It was something related to Star Wars.
Okay, so I don't
Oh
know.
no! The Nintendo World.
Okay.
When is the American one releasing? And it's the Universal one.
Okay, so
I
the
think that's in
Californian one is
California, isn't
already
it?
open.
Yeah, it's
and then
already
the
open.
No, it's in
Florida one
Florida.
is next year.
Wow, that's gonna fuck over Disney even more.
But
Hey, Maji,
Hmm.
if Starscream transformed into a Star Wars fighter type jet, which vehicle do you think that would be?
actually they did do that. It's called Transformer crossovers where they transformed into like Megatron transformed into Darth Vader's ship.
Yeah, but that
Um,
didn't really work for
I'm
Megatron.
trying to remember who the Millennium Falcon was. It wasn't Optimus, it was somebody else.
Hold up, Wrangler. You know
Yeah.
who Starscream would transform into? Remember
What?
the clone Arc Jet, the Arc Fighters?
Okay,
from the
dang
prequels?
it, you're gonna make me pull them up.
No,
Why are you
I'm
showing
gonna
my
look it up.
nerdum?
Look, they look like
Because that's what we
X-Wings.
do here. They look like what's the ship called again?
It's the Arc Fighter. I think it's what it's called.
ARCH.
ARC. But clone Arc Fighter
Yeah,
spaceship.
ARCH is Arch. Arch.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh-oh,
look.
because I spell arc and arch the same way. I may have been messing up.
Okay, listen to this. My local theater, the old movies they're bringing in. Oh crap! What the hell?
Oh yeah.
Christine 40th anniversary edition, Friday the 13th, the original movie. What was the other one? Night of the Demon, which is a bad B movie. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, there we go.
Shrek 2.
Classic.
They Live.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Sorry, I'm just contractually required to speak that whenever that name's dropped.
Well, that would work for Starscream, wouldn't it?
And
It
Zodiac.
really would.
And Zodiac. And if you haven't seen the movie Zodiac, go watch it.
Oh, that's good. That's some good
There
stuff.
are a couple like absolutely. I mean, when I first saw that, I had the lights off and the lights off in the house. It was night out, and there was a couple of really sort of chilling.
One of the
chilling
best
scenes.
crime thrillers.
Oh, and starting October 1st, the original Exorcist.
Oh yeah. Good setup.
Hey, you were an old man when that came out.
Which would be
Yeah.
50 years this year.
And that was another massive phenomena at the theaters. I mean, it freaked people out. Anyways, okay, I'm done. I'll shut up now.
One time, okay, so I was so excited. I was gonna go to see the first Lord of the Rings. I walked into the wrong movie theater because I read the ticket wrong, and it was the movie From Hell, which is based off of Jack the Ripper. I walked in just to see just blood everywhere as he's dissecting the inside of a person. Keep in mind, I'm like freaking elementary, and I'm like, I don't want to see this movie anymore.
Maji's lying. She sat right in front of the TV.
I mean, that's another one I go see in the theaters again. Is that whole, and they actually ran that I think last year, which was the old the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh, I would watch that. in a
Yeah, they
heartbeat.
done it. What was it? Last year. When did fucking Rings of Power release again? Last year, wasn't
Yeah, they re-released it when Rings of Power was on just to say screw you, Amazon.
it? What? Because then Warner Brothers announced they're like, oh yeah, now we're making a Silmarillion Rings of Power show, basically.
Well,
Doing
I
what
know
they're
they're
doing, but
doing
doing it.
Riders of the Is it Silmarillion they're doing animated, or is it the Rohirrim they're doing?
No,
animated?
it's the Rohirrim. It's the War of the Rohirrim or something like that.
Well, Warner Brothers has full fucking can you actually use all the names and shit in the actual full on Silmarillion. Whereas Amazon can't. They can only use the appendages from
the appendices.
The appendages, yeah.
Except for
well,
I'm
basically
scared.
the same if you put it, the way they butcher it.
Technically, they couldn't do Lord of the Rings now.
The entrails.
Yeah.
Well, if they were to try to make the Lord of the Rings movies now, they couldn't do the masterpiece that Peter Jackson did.
No.
I'm scared of what they would produce.
It would be awful. I mean, all you needed to do was hear that one whole thing about why are they throwing stones at my boat. It's because the stone is always looking down. What does that mean? Your elf was supposed to be wise. I feel like slapping you.
Oh, wasn't there a word of wisdom like rock sink, basically?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Rock sink because they're always looking down.
What?
Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
No wonder you died. No wonder you died in the war. You were an idiot.
Yeah. I'm supposed to sympathize with your idiot? I mean,
Yeah.
So basically, Tolkien spinning in his grave and Walt spinning in his grave can like power Manhattan.
I
for
could
like
honestly see
200
Walt
years,
creating
500
a
years
company
of power.
to go against his company.
What'd you say?
I can see Walt, if he was alive right now, creating his own company to say "screw you, Disney."
Well, you know
think
how
Tolkien wouldn't fucking wouldn't burn his entire shit down.
Yeah,
Realizing
he
what
would.
Amazon of all the things to get the rights to it.
Well, if you notice, all these problems started coming about. Roy Disney was still alive when they were making good movies. And the minute he died, the crap started coming out. Roy Disney put a lid on a lot of this stuff and made sure that they produced content that honored, I think it was his brother's memory and what his brother intended, despite some of the other stuff that went on. I mean, they were that during that period you got stuff like The Incredibles, you get the Beauty and the Beast, which was a huge hit, and a bunch of the the regular Disney movies. Those sold well, and then the minute he died, the garbage started coming out. I mean, the creeps started coming out of the woodwork. So they're a huge company now, but they've screwed
No,
themselves.
not anymore. They're putting up yard sales on everything.
Yep.
Well, it's also because they finally realized, like Warner Brothers with Zaslav went, oh yeah, we got to start licensing our shit off like we used to.
Well, I mean, think about it. Sound of Freedom is their biggest competition besides friggin' Mission Impossible. They own Sound of Freedom. They're like, we're poor, so we'll just sell it off for here.
It wasn't so much that they were poor; they didn't.
How much
want
do they
to
sell it
release
off
for reasons?
Don't know.
Now, didn't they have to crowdfund to buy it back?
They crowdfunded to buy it back.
Yeah, how much was the crowd fund?
At least $5 million.
Oh, they
And
made
there was
way
some
more
under
than
the
that.
table.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
There was a good investment and a beneficial one as well.
I'm wishing that if I had seen the angel investment for that, I wish I would have had some money to put into that.
Now, are they going to be
This
smart
is from
and release physical media of it on DVD and
Probably.
Blu-ray?
I know
I
they're
would hope
trying to
so.
get a
I would
release
think
in
so.
Mexico.
Huh?
I know Angel Media is trying to get a Sound of Freedom release in Mexico.
I'm surprised it wasn't already.
Here's what I'm
Nope.
trying to read.
This is
5 million. That was the goal to get the crowdfunding back. Now that's from Wikipedia, so take that with a pinch of salt. But it was 5
Gotcha.
million.
But no, they're trying to get it shown in Mexico. They haven't announced an official date yet, but so far, what it's made, which has been over 80 million, has just been domestic.
Mm-hmm.
I've invested in 2 other of their projects, and I'm hoping they do like one of them. I'm hoping does like even a quarter as well. And the
Right.
other
So
one,
that
like,
means
at
they
least
made
half as well.
$75 million, basically.
Well, no, the movie still had a budget of 14 mil.
Yeah, but they didn't pay that 14 mil. They paid 5 million to get the rights to it. That 14 mil was Fox, not them.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad Angel got it, because I think this is part of a cultural shift. It's starting to turn around. As far as things have been pushed, we're finally starting to see it push back. And this movie might not have been intended to be part of a pushback in a full-blown culture war like we're in now, but the timing is almost perfect.
That's the irony of the whole thing. This thing was made before everything hit the fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, things were going bad in 2018 on a cultural level, but it hit the fan in 2020. That's my opinion. So here it was, packaged, finished, and it just sat there. And Disney thought if we hide it, it won't cause us any problems. Boy, were they in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
It literally friggin' outbeat their main IP for Lucasfilm that hadn't been destroyed. On top of that, it friggin' it's just it's amazing. It's been top of the theater for release day of Mission Impossible. It was actually Sound of Freedom at the #1 spot, not Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible took the #1 about the next day, but on release day of Mission Impossible, Sound of Freedom was #1. Think of that.
And that's a very good thought, because we're seeing a good response from people to this movie, which tells me regular people that aren't twerped in the head by all the modern day politics are still out there and they're still active. And that means, there's more regular people than there are nut jobs doing all the screaming and authoritarian word policing and all that.
Yeah.
But they're so loud, everybody's afraid to speak up and just say, hey, people are people. Let them be people.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people waking up though, and all sorts of different things are changing. Like there was one, was it Georgia? I think had a Democrat leave her party because they kept trying to shove her in a hole, and she's like, "No, this is an important thing. We got to do this for the kids," and so she switched parties.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, it's okay. So everyone's claiming this is a Christian movie. To be honest with you, the only time the Christian references really showed up was when the actors were literally breaking in the movie because of all the horrors they're seeing.
Yeah.
Well, there have, but I want to point out there have been some very good Christian movies that have come out. I went and I saw, what was it? Oh God, it was about that reporter that converted based on his investigation of the biblical story, and it was a major hit. The book was a major hit, and they made a story out of it. The Case for Christ.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, Case for God. Yeah,
that actually was a pretty good movie. My wife thought it was kind of corny in spots, but I didn't. I'm really get kind of like, I'm actually very down on Christian, a lot of Christian endeavors because they're corny and they're not really well done. But I thought that was very good. Risen was another one with was it Ray Fiennes? That was a really good movie. It's about
Book of Eli.
Yeah, Book of. You mean the one with Denzel?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really good movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen it, the Nativity.
John A. Douglas is in the chat. How's it going, John?
The Nativity. I watched that movie every Christmas, and it is a really well done movie. So there's been an uptick, I think, in some of the movies that have come out. There's another one, The Gospel of Paul, I think, that came out. That was kind of boring, but it wasn't bad. It just wasn't a great movie.
Have you
I
seen
think-
Mother?
No, God, yeah, I saw sections of that. I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
It's insane. Like I watched it with my girlfriend at the time, and we had to look like, what the heck's going on with this? But then, oh, it's a analogy for like the Bible story and everything. Like, oh, okay, so this is Adam and Eve. This is the poet's God. Oh, okay. Or I started clicking in and everything. But that's it's an insane movie.
And
Haven't
Stormcrow,
seen
no,
it.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the acting was pretty solid as well. I mean, I thought it was pretty well written, but you know,
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't knocking on Christian movies. It's just, it say if you're like not a Christian, you could understand where they put the references in Sound of Freedom.
Monty,
It's the
are
only
you
way that
responding to Gino? Because he didn't say it was a Christian movie. He was saying them damn Christians putting out good content.
Well,
Meaning
it's
writers,
definitely a Christian
directors.
movie because like one of the main things they want to really point across is God's children are not for sale. That was like one of the key lines. God's children are not for sale. You
and I
know?
think, and the Angel Network, I think, is responsible for a lot of Christian content.
I mean, agnostic
Yeah.
people will make statements like that. Secular people make statements like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because it's a true statement.
But
Yep.
I think the Angel Network is focused on Christian content, which
Yeah.
I don't care who put. Well, I do kind of care to a certain extent who puts out the movie, as long as it's a good movie that I actually want to watch.
They are the key to any story is sometimes knowing when you have to kill your darlings, which what I mean by is having restraint. As much as you want to go all over the place, you gotta refine the story so it's simple, concise. I'm not saying it has to be a simple story, but it's concise enough that the audience can get it in its runtime. So when you do a religious story, you can't just be going every 5 seconds with "look at this symbolism, this iconography that has nothing to do with the main plot." You can't do that.
Yeah.
I think Angels. I'll let you one more, but I think Angel Studios, they've found a way to have well-produced movies that have a religious undertone, but they have a way to refine it. They have a refined message.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of the Christian movies, their idea for their presentation wasn't bad. They just weren't very good at the doing it part.
Yeah,
I
They always have a
invested,
lower budget. It's always a
I
smaller
invested in
studio.
2 of their other movies, and one of them is a animated movie that's coming up about David, I believe. So I'm pretty sure that will cover it. Let's see. What was it? Maybe, no, is it David or Daniel? I don't remember.
I think it's
an animated-
Daniel, and that should be interesting. Boy, he
Yeah,
had some
it looks
he
really
had
good.
some really freaky visions. That would be cool.
Mhm.
I don't think they had mushrooms, Trippy, back in Babylon.
No, but there was a fungi that grew on wheat. That's similar to LSD.
Well,
I
you,
can imagine they would also, sometimes get
LSA.
high just by getting stung by scorpions.
You know what show
Toads. You could always look at
handles,
toads. Shit rain
handles
from the sky.
religion very well without being a religious show, and I wish more people would draw on this. And it's a Marvel show of all things, Daredevil.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
Catholic is a huge part of who he is, and they didn't shy away from it. But at no point did you feel like you were being preached at, even though there was a lot of Catholic representation in this show.
Yeah,
And
you ain't
that's-
gonna get that in
That's
Disney.
the way to do it.
You're not gonna get
But-
any of
but-
that in Disney's.
But
Yeah, no.
technically, that was Disney, but that was before they really pushed the political
Oh,
agendas.
the Daredevil shows that was 100% Netflix, not
Well,
Disney.
it was actually no, it was ABC, and it was distributed by Netflix, and it was advertised as Netflix original. Was ABC Studios that made it, which is owned by Disney.
yeah, that had a rough start too. But from what I heard, because I didn't after the first season, I was kind of tuned out about it. But from what I heard, it got progressively better as it went on, and people by the time they got rid of it, people were all bent out of shape because it was it was a good series.
It was when they introduced Punisher and went down that route. I was hooked.
That's season 2.
As opposed to like all the CW content, which
Hold up, Herman, and it's the actual Punisher, not that bullshit spin-off show they had with them after Daredevil season 2. Actual
No,
Punisher.
they had the real Punisher that you would recognize from the comics in season 2, but I don't think they released the second season to buy. I know they released the first one.
Yeah, they did. The first and second season you can buy. It's the third season you cannot buy on.
Third season wasn't that good.
Third season of what?
Daredevil.
Okay, I thought you were going to say third season of the Punisher. I thought there was only 2. I thought John Bernthal was great as the Punisher.
He was, but the Punisher show sucked. The Punisher in Daredevil season 2, that's the Punisher, man. He was fucking.
Oh, yeah.
He did not give a shit. He was brutal as fuck.
But he was but at the same time, as much as he was over the line, he could still be very reasonable. He walked that balance very well. I like that version of Frank Castle better than any. No offense to Thomas Jane. I enjoyed his Punisher, but it was based in Florida. It was a cool alternate version, but I really like the John Bernthal version. I unfortunately never saw Punisher Warzone. Who was
Razor
it?
Fist just did a video on
Yeah,
it.
he recently passed away. The guy who played Frank Castle in that one.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
Let me look it up. I know him.
What
He's
year
in
was
a lot of
that?
shit.
Poor Rito.
I mean, I heard very good things about it, but I just happen to have never seen it.
Rito, who's your favorite historical political figure?
Oh, I'm just listening.
God.
I know what the Punisher and Daredevil are. I just have no input on, but I know a friend of mine who actually did like the Punisher show, but I never personally saw it. So
The main producer or the writer for it was like he didn't want the Punisher having any attachments on his guns. He wanted just what he would think would be what you should have as guns. So it's just like regular shotguns, no extended mags, none of that shit. And we're talking about the Punisher.
Which Punisher movie?
Ray Stevenson. So you're thinking of Frequency?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, he just died. I forgot what he died from, or what it said he died from. He also
I don't know either.
He played in a lot of shit, but he also played in the really shitty Wolverine with the one with the bad Deadpool. Origins.
Yep.
Plays as his brother.
I didn't realize that was.
Hold on.
Deadpool for the
Who
longest
did he
time.
play in that?
He played Wolverine's brother in that.
Oh, he played
what's his name?
Sabretooth.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
played
that-
Sabretooth.
I thought there was somebody else, or maybe
I might be
mixing him
wrong
up
on that. Let me look that up.
I thought his name was Liv. Yeah.
So, Readout, while we're waiting, what do you think of the best anime coming out in the future? Readout?
I don't have much comment on that, to be quite honest. Not that it's bad. I just haven't had time really to get into new shows. Believe it or not,
more fiction.
I just started watching the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
Damn, the 80s
nice.
one? Or the
70s, the
70s.
original.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna start going through that, and that'll be an interesting experience.
If you could get past the corny background music, it's hard. That's hard.
Punisher
really
still
like
goes
the,
down as having the best what if comic of all time. Would that be the Punisher kills the Marvel Universe? Are you referring to?
I think that's probably what he's referring to.
Is that the show I don't want to go check out?
Yes, that's a show you don't want to check out.
Don't touch it.
Not
Don't
good
look
anime.
at it.
Not good
Don't
anime.
even think about it.
Wait, didn't you, Trippy? Didn't you open it up?
Yes, he got me with it. I didn't know what it was. I had to Google it, and now I'm like regretting my life now.
Is this the modern day anime version of Two Girls One Cup or something? What?
Worse.
Yeah,
it's
it's worse.
Just don't ask.
Is it worse
Don't
than
ask.
Berserk? The opening of Berserk?
It's
You
worse.
watch an episode or
Just
two
don't
and
ask.
you don't know what you're watching, and then you finally figure out what you're watching, and it's like, oh gosh, no.
It's pretty
Why
bad.
did I
but
watch this?
but not as bad as my hunger right now. So I gotta dip out. I gotta go get some food here.
He
and
needs
call it a
fufu.
night. 'Cause I'm starving.
He
Let's
needs
Tell us
go.
gonna
food
be
for
on
the
what?
soul.
I'm confused. Of course, I'm
So,
crazy.
All right,
I'm
Trippy.
hanging out here.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Try some
no
chicken
problem.
soup for your soul.
Oh, I'm gonna go get a chicken sandwich. Actually, spicy chicken sandwiches. I'm gonna get.
Tastes like
Mwah.
chicken.
Okay, give me the pitch for the show. What is the show about?
The spicy chicken sandwich.
So which Punisher are you guys talking about? There was the
Cocksuckers,
1989
ask
with
the
Dolph
question.
Lundgren, which I assume is not the one that you guys are talking about. And then there was one in 2004? Or is it a different Punisher that you guys are talking about? Because there is a number of them.
Are you
Yeah,
talking
there were-
about Warzone?
Oh, Warzone.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one with Ray Stevenson's.
2008.
Yeah, I think it was after the Raiden dude played Punisher.
the
I'll have to
Raiden
look
dude.
at this and
You
see
mean,
if I.
what do you mean the Raiden dude?
The dude who played Raiden in Mortal
Christopher Lambert?
Kombat.
I
Christopher
like how we're
Lambert?
all mentally lost.
Oh God!
Is that who you're talking about, Christopher Lambert?
I think so.
He's.
Like
I don't
that.
think he ever played the Punisher.
No, he didn't. He was Highlander.
Yeah.
There can be only one.
And who was the
Just
fucking
pretend
dude
the
who's
second
playing
movie
the
doesn't
Punisher
exist
one?
and it's great.
Thomas Jane, I think, played the Punisher.
That was the version with. Was there no skull on his version? Or?
No, he did. He had
No,
a
he did.
skull.
No,
He was
Dolph
under his coat.
Lundgren had no skull.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that looks
Thomas
really
Jane's
similar.
version took place in Florida instead of New York. I like how they're very old-fashioned in their filming in that one, though. I mean, everything was practical effects. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. They
Right.
need to start returning to practical effects again. No more
Yeah.
of this frickin' CGI stuff.
Well, Herman, practical effects are cheaper, actually.
Yeah, I mean they're better. I'm sorry, they're better.
I know it's just funny when people like think that the practical effects are actually more expensive, which one they're using these CGI is actually the opposite.
Yeah.
Practical effects are actually cheaper to do instead of hiring an entire studio to do the CGI.
Yeah. Because I'm looking back at all these movies that we all love and are like even the gross out movies, and it's like all this stuff was done under practical effects and it looks cool, and it if they do the camera angle right and the lighting right, it feels realistic. And I'm watching a bunch of these movies with the CGI effects, and it's like, this is awful. I mean, it's like you can tell.
I'm trying to figure.
Well, because they're
out-
no longer mixing it. Used to, like, you fucking go back to Iron Man. Iron Man, it was practical effects mixed in with the CGI
Yeah.
shit. Which is why that movie still to this fucking day holds up so
up,
damn
yeah.
well.
Campbell's comment is hurting my brain. I'm confused.
Connor
Jen?
McLeod and Conan.
McLeod. That's Lambert.
Oh, that's McLeod
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Conan.
Connor McLeod from the Clan McLeod.
I'll be back.
It's like those three things don't. Is it supposed to be a joke or it's?
Which Conan is that?
I think it's a joke that they're all like sword
Could
things. I don't. My brain hurts. Sorry. Didn't want to interrupt your conversation. My brain was hurting.
Kurgan, who cut your hair?
A German guy trying to do a German guy who doesn't know English trying to do a Scottish accent
be.
in New
German.
York.
He was French.
I thought he was German, or maybe no,
No, he's
he wasn't French. I could have sworn he was German.
No, Christopher Lambert. He's French American.
Really? Okay, a French dude trying to do a Scottish accent. He doesn't know a lick of English.
And his mentor is supposed to be a Egyptian
Played by a Scotsman.
Yes.
An Egyptian who was a Spaniard, played by a
Yeah.
Scotsman.
It's great. How can you not love this movie?
I mean, that thing had so much. That movie had so much. It just had so many targets all over it where it could go bad. And I mean, the director had never directed a movie. He'd only directed music videos. the main the main character, not only was he the wrong ethnic heritage, he didn't even speak English.
And to make matters worse, Lambert, he has very poor eyesight, so it was difficult for him to do a lot of the sequences with all the fighting. It was painful.
And
oh gosh.
although Clancy Brown, I mean, he made that movie, and it's iconic. It started as a cult hit, and now people love it. The Queen soundtrack, and I got
the Queen soundtrack.
I got I got a bunch of songs in the soundtrack showed up on It's a Kind of Magic. I love that album.
Yeah.
Kurgan's theme, the Highlander soundtrack, and Kurgan's theme, which is "Give Me the Prize." I love that song.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury hated that song though because that was one of the highest octaves he had to sing in. He's like, nope, never doing that again.
Yeah.
Stormcrow's got a bit of a point there. It's weird how the characters in the Dark Crystal can be so cutesy and so uncanny valley at the same time.
They are cute and horrifying.
And they brought out the They brought out a Dark Crystal series on Netflix, and I think that bombed. If I'm correct,
that's too bad because as odd as the Dark Crystal was, I really liked that. It was after you get over the uncanny valley and just go with it. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, I couldn't get it. I tried watching. I just couldn't watch it. It didn't.
Yeah,
it
fair
didn't
enough.
resonate with me.
Yeah, not everything works for everybody.
Strange.
It took me a couple attempts to get into, and then after I did get into it, I'm like, this is really cool. When are they going to do another?
Yeah.
And then
I think it might have had to do with the fact that I'd seen one too many Muppet shows.
Perhaps.
And I expect Gonzo to come out or Fozzie go,
No. Swedish Chef.
Welcome to the Muppet Show. Horace is horrible.
Bork.
I'm
the aliens.
Beard for defeat, fart. Bork.
Oh man, I miss those.
And then, of course, everybody seems to forget Scooter. He was like the main character during the original run. I mean, not the main, but one of the main. And then in all the subsequent movies and stuff, we barely ever see him.
Nope. They brought in, I think, Robin or something like that. So it's the Kermit's nephew.
Anybody remember
frog legs
Bean?
and bacon? No. Anybody
remember what?
Bean, the rabbit. His name was Beans.
I don't.
No.
Okay, in Muppet Christmas Carol, he was the homeless little bunny that got the reef thrown at him.
Oh yeah, that was another. Actually, it was one of the better Christmas Carol movies that came out. It stayed closer. It stayed closer to the original Christmas Carol source.
Well, that's because
between that and Scrooge.
Wait, which one?
Your son did it.
Just got back.
The Muppets Carol.
Muppets Christmas Carol.
I
thought you were going to
Christmas
mention
Carol.
the Jim Carrey one. I still haven't finished that, by the way.
I hear Christmas Carol, and my mind still keeps going back to that episode of The Real Ghostbusters where they accidentally went back in time and they saw, oh, this guy's being haunted, and busted the ghost, and it turned out to be the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. Mm-hmm. So they had to go and teach Scrooge all the lessons so they wouldn't ruin Christmas.
Dude, the two movies that made me fall asleep, and I think they came out around the same time. Anytime I couldn't go to sleep, I'd put that movie on and fucking pass out. Is Polar Express. Still haven't watched that movie all the way through. and the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol movie.
Oh God, the Jim
Wow.
Carrey
Gosh.
Christmas Carol.
I didn't
is
even know that
freaking
existed.
awesome. Yeah, you probably just as well you don't watch it. It's awful.
Really? Because
Both
Jim
of those
Carrey
movies,
used to
man.
be awesome.
It
I've
was one of
never
them.
watched them from start to end, and I've always passed out.
What
Well, I
was it
think the
called? Like
problem with the Jim
illuminated
Carrey one
movers.
is he is every character.
Well, didn't Patrick Stewart do that too in a live performance?
I think so,
No,
yeah.
no, it wasn't a live performance. It was.
I thought it
was
was a
ma-
stage play he did where he did the whole thing.
He
by
may
himself.
have, but well, I don't know about that, but he may have, but TNT had a Patrick Stewart. I think it was TNT had a Patrick Stewart Christmas Carol.
Do you guys remember Muppet Treasure Island?
Hold up,
Of
did he
course.
say
Yes.
shut up
I remember it.
Wesley during it?
You will be haunted by 3 spirits. The first will be Wesley Crusher.
and who is Patrick Stewart haunting this time? Who's going to be the Scrooge this time?
Wait.
Bill Murray?
Well, the
Herman.
the Coast of Christmas Future is Wesley Crusher, but he shuts up.
But Herman, hold up.
Marley will
type
be
of
played
ghost
by
would-
Q.
What ghost would he be? Because technically he's with the time traveler dude, so would he be past, present, future?
The ghosts of if Wesley Crusher was going to be a ghost, it would be the ghost of Christmas that never ever freaking showed up.
Yeah, that's
So okay, so to confirm, the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol was made by Image Movers, and this I'll be brief on this. Does anybody remember the Image Movers company for Walt Disney?
No.
Okay, so this was founded by Robert Zemeckis, and this was to try to be a all CGI motion capture studio. So all of their films would be motion captured. They made Polar Express, which was their big hit when it first came out. Then they did I think they did Monster. Did they do Monster House? I forget if they did. Monster House was good if they did in that
Yeah,
case.
Monster House wasn't bad.
That was an interesting show movie.
Well, was that motion captured?
Yeah.
I thought that was CGI.
No, that's motion capture.
That's
But
not
they
motion
CGI'd
but
around
it's
it.
using full motion capture.
When you say
they
motion,
They did.
hold on,
Beowulf.
motion capture as in somebody acted it out in a mocap suit, or do you mean
Yes.
stop motion animation?
No,
No.
they acted out.
Okay.
It's what every video game now uses as well. Which
And
is
then they
motion
d-
capture everything.
And then the studio died when they made Mars Needs Moms.
Oh my
didn't even
God.
hear about that
Thank you
one.
for bringing
That's what
that
killed-
movie up.
That's what
That
killed the
movie,
studio.
I never want to see it. I remember this is when YouTube was really bad with the ads. I mean, like 6 ads in a video, and you couldn't skip them. It would constantly play Mars Needs Mom ad.
I think
Just-
that's why nobody went to see it. To be honest, they were sick of it.
That's the only reason I know that movie, by the way, is because them fucking ads on YouTube.
The
So
only reason I brought
atrocious.
the studio up because you mentioned about Jim Carrey playing all the roles in that movie, about Patrick Stewart about playing all the roles. Tom Hanks played basically all the roles in the Polar Express, like for the motion cap. It
Yeah.
was weird.
Even the kid.
So he played a black girl.
Probably.
Probably.
Like, here you go, Tom Hanks. Get on your knees, waddle around.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
What?
Well, it was better than what Doomcock said on his video earlier.
What did he say?
He's like, just when you think Disney can't suck any harder, Mickey pulls out the knee pads.
Oh gosh.
His
Harpo, be
freaking
quiet.
commentary is hilarious. I know some people like get on him for being all about all the rumors and stuff, but he says every video, "This is a rumor. I can't verify it. Take it with a grain of salt," and people still bitch.
I
It's like,
just-
what more can he do?
I don't really listen to the rumors as much as he's more entertaining than half the shit on TV.
Yeah, but
His
if he was
freaking
if he would
metaphors and
stop with
descriptions
the-
are
but if he would
phenomenal.
stop with the bullshit, like Lucasfilm rivalries, all this other bullshit. He's good on his own, just on his streams. I've watched his streams where he's just having fun and he's singing and shit.
Oh yeah, his Friday Night Frolics.
Yeah, them are fun. I haven't watched them a long time, but when he does that, it's fun. But when he starts pulling up this, KK is gonna get fired. KK is gonna get fired.
And again, he always said those are rumors based on sources and he can't verify.
Oh.
So until she gets fired, I never believe she's actually getting fired.
Yeah, but come
But
on.
every time I
It's-
turn on one of these reports, I remind myself, this isn't a
Herman-
news report. This is rumor discussion.
Yeah, but he's not. Come on.
You know,
He's
but
been doing this shit since what, 2018?
But I'll tell you something. If Disney's going through a fire sale right now and they're shutting down Marvel and Star Wars, I don't know how she survives.
She's still
honestly.
going to survive. She's still going to
According to
survive.
Clownfish, nobody wants to take her position because they don't want the mess.
Can you blame them?
I'll take it.
I'll
Generally,
take the IPs. I don't
Hey,
want the position.
if you
No, I'll
if,
take the position.
if
I'll
Marvel
start
if Marvel
firing
fell
every
apart
motherfucker.
and you were offered you can take any character and own them that you want out of the catalog, which one would it be?
Wait, you mean IP? Characters is way too little.
Okay, well, IP. Any IP, you can take one and take it with you, and you will own it from here on out. Which one would it be?
I would take Batty from Firm Gully. Old Robin Williams, you can never go wrong with.
That hold on, wait. That's Marvel?
That's Lucasfilm.
Oh, okay. I asked Marvel, but yeah, Lucasfilm too. Screw it, why not? What would you want,
The
Billy?
obvious answer would probably be Star Wars. But I'll go with one that's not Star Wars. I'll go with The Incredibles.
That could be fun.
I'd take that. You could really do a lot with it.
I'm surprised
Cross
they
Comics
haven't.
has joined us. Greetings, Cross Comics. He says hi all and Herman.
yo,
Cross
Buy my
Comics
book.
recognizes the value of the hedge.
Yeah,
Cross
buy my
Cross
book.
Comics is the producer of the Canadian Shield. He also does some Canadian Shield. He's Rick Piper is Canadian, and he has his own comic character, the Canadian Shield. And he works with. He's known to work with an artist, John Dillard, and John Dillard is a fantastic artist. Fantastic.
I can't wait until we figure out who the art or when the art, because we're supposed to get the artist for the Alpha Corp and Yaira before the 31st.
Okay, Lucasfilm did Labyrinth, Howard the Duck, Willow, Tucker the Man in His Dream. I'd pass on that one. The Land Before Time, the Indiana Jones stuff, all the Star Wars stuff, Red Tails. I don't even know what that is. Strange Magic.
That's the black fighters. Read out, you know this.
Oh
from World
yeah,
War
I know.
One.
It's a Tuskegee Airman.
Oops.
Yeah,
They also did American Graffiti, which that was
I didn't
that
even know
actually
Land
was
Before
George
Time was
Lucas's.
Lucas.
Yeah, that was George Lucas's claim to fame. That's how he got. I think that's how he got greenlit for Star Wars.
that's
Because
how he got Harrison Ford as well.
Yeah, because that actually did very well in the box office. I remember going seeing it. It was a good movie. And so they finally let him greenlight Star Wars.
Man, I'm fixing to go watch the original 3 Indiana Jones, the only ones that exist.
And then Twice Upon a Time Latino and Mishima for Life. I don't even know what that is. I don't know if I had to take something. Maybe I'd take freaking Labyrinth or Willow and.
Oh, were we supposed to take Lucasfilm stuff? Only
Well, I mean, if it
Lucasfilm
was
or
a Disney.
Okay.
If it was a Disney. I mean, the other one I would take would be Up, but I mean, that's kind of, you can't go very far with that. And you already took The Incredibles.
You can only go one direction with that one.
Yeah. That
Or
was a
worse,
great.
Make Carl go on a freaking date and ruin everything.
Yeah, but Herman, you could make decent sequels to Up.
No, because that was contained, and I don't think you'd only be able to do it with the kid. You couldn't do it with the guy because the kid would.
Yeah, it would have to
grow
be
up.
like Russell as an adult trying to.
Well,
remember
the old
that
guy could be
Carl-
guiding
Yeah,
him.
but you can have a fun stuff with him trying to connect with his son.
I don't know.
Connection
I don't
with the
know.
old man.
I don't think you'd get very far with it. But they did have those
Before you hit
adventures,
the atmosphere, I'm
And-
okay. Got it.
and that's another thing too. That was probably the last good. I think the last really good animation that ever came out of frickin' Disney was Up.
Well, that'd been Pixar. What was Up Pixar production?
I think Up was Pixar. Don't they own Pixar?
Yeah, they own Pixar, but there's
Yeah.
also Disney Animation, which is the
How
other
about
one.
how about I go right for the throat and go for an IP from Disney Animation Studio?
And what one? Which one?
Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
No,
Ooh,
that's not
nice
a bad
pick.
one.
Especially considering Disney does not give a crap about it. So, and you know how much
Good.
lore
Then they're
they-
not going to ruin it with a live action remake.
they're trying.
Hey,
But
you think so, Frequency? You think so?
you know how much lore was baked to make that film? Like it's crazy.
There was a lot of research for that.
Stormcrow said he would keep Treasure Planet.
Yep.
That was one of Disney's last, well, no,
That
Princess
was,
and the Frog was Disney's last,
Yeah,
I think, animated.
but the
2D
failure of
animated.
Treasure Planet's basically what doomed 2D animation.
Which I don't understand why. I really liked that one.
It's because they spent so much money on using the
marketing
CGI
wasn't
and
handled
3D
well.
animation and all that, and they
Well-
done horrible marketing for it.
It's too bad because that was one of my favorites from that decade.
Princess and the Frog's still good if you want to go back and watch that one. That came out.
Actually, I've never seen that one.
It's pretty good.
It got Keith David, so that's all that matters to
Yeah,
me.
Keith David's the main bad
Yeah.
guy, and the songs are pretty cool because they're voodoo.
Whenever he shows up, things just get better.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, can you believe the one I would take would be a Marvel property, and this sounds kind of out in left field at first glance, but I would take the Black Panther franchise.
Yeah, but that would just be all of Marvel. So you could just say Marvel. You'd have all of Marvel.
Nope, just the Black Panther franchise.
It's a bargain right now. It's so affordable.
Remember,
I would-
Bastet is a major character in my stories, so it would fit in nicely.
I would, in
Ah.
all honesty, try to save the Jim Henson stuff.
Yeah, but you got to name something specific, Maji.
The Muppets.
You got the Muppets.
Yeah, if you could.
I
if you
mean,
could get a-
Sesame Street would have to be a package deal with Sesame Street since the
I
cast of
think
one and the
PBS
other are
still
mostly the same.
does Sesame Street, though.
Yeah, but the
Sesame
problem
Street
is
and
the
Muppets
characters
kinda
are the same
separated.
characters.
They
Maji,
used to.
He's trying to
But
get you
they're
them. He's trying to get you fucking Sesame Street with Muppets. You're fucking up this deal, okay?
Yeah,
You're supposed to say,
I'm working with you. I'm
yes.
trying to get you all the characters.
Yeah, then you can have crossovers and everything.
Oh, actually have the letter A represent the letter A?
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, now she is race swapped, I'm pretty sure, from the original story. Isn't she, Herman? From Princess and the Frog?
Yes, she is.
But
Now,
it's
where
not
did the original story take place?
Not New Orleans.
yeah.
The reason I say that is I'm going to point back to Little Mermaid for a minute. Everybody who is, myself included, who is griping that they're not sticking true to the source material with the character designs, if they said this is a Caribbean version of the Little Mermaid from the get-go, I don't think
Nobody would have
cared.
a problem.
Exactly.
Nobody know. But what island nation is this in the remake? It makes no sense.
Well, the
Wait,
other thing,
yeah.
other thing too, that did have a certain amount of controversy when it did come out because it was believed that they were doing the race swapping, but it wasn't that big of a deal because the Princess and the Frog, that story, because I think it was a grim fairy tale if I can remember correctly. But I mean, it was like one of those things where it's like, this is such a minor story. No one really cared about it.
Well, yeah, it's a
Yeah, but
fable.
it was
It's not a
also
full-fledged
good.
story.
Yeah.
It was also good, and it wasn't really that race baiting shit. You know?
No. And, and they did a good job, obviously, because people are here saying, yeah, we should watch that. So,
Who was it? Moesha that played Cinderella a few years back?
Here's
Or
the
was
thing.
or was it Raven Simone?
Yeah,
but-
see,
But nobody
there are
complained about that.
characters you
People
can't
like
get away
that.
with race swaps at all. You can't get away with a race swap with Snow fucking White.
No, you can't.
It's in her name. It goes
Well-
along with her appearance.
Then on top of that, they made Gal Gadot the evil, ugly stepmother. It's like, it's freaking
they
Gal
did?
Gadot.
Oh,
Really?
that's what I watched the Critical Drinker video on that today. I broke out laughing when he was like, "Oh, I'm going to give you the original description of Snow White," and he just starts streaking like straight fucking German when he
Yeah, and then he
describing her.
translated it directly after.
Yeah, then he's like, well, "What that means is black hair, pale white skin."
Did you happen to catch the short video from Just Some Guy on this subject?
I haven't.
Yeah,
watched
he
him
put
either.
he put what's her name playing Snow White? I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
I don't remember her name.
Yeah, but they
either.
put her side by side. He put up a picture of her side by side with Gal Gadot, and he said, "I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that Gal Gadot isn't the prettier one. I have eyes, and so does everyone else.
Yeah,
you can
I-
see."
Like half of the world is like salivating over frickin' Gal Gadot, and this other chick, nobody knows who she is.
Why would you
And-
have her play the evil stepmom?
Yeah, I know.
Why?
It boggles the
Because
mind.
reasons.
Some of the decisions being made.
Like, I don't even think she would make a good villain for acting.
No, that's the other thing. She would make a horrible.
Actually,
villain.
I think she could. I think
Like,
she
okay,
could
you
pull
remember-
off that almost disdain for those around me because they're stupider than me. I think she could pull that off very well.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. What's the name of the remember the one that had Liam Neeson, not Liam Neeson, fuck. Christian Hemsworth, the one with him and what's her name from Twilight?
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of the one
Where
who
Kristen
played the
Stewart
evil
had to use
stepmom
all
in that
5 of her
movie.
facial
She was
expressions.
built for that role. The blonde-haired chick.
Yeah, that was oh jeez.
She's a good actress. She's like a really good one.
Yeah, she's in so
Charlize
many movies.
Theron.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Charlize Theron.
Yep, she was really good in that one.
Charlize Theromones.
Now try to think of Gal Gadot in that movie playing the same role.
Well, the thing is Charlize Theron. She can like read Green Eggs and Ham on here for an hour and a half, and people will go see it. You know, and it would probably top the box office.
She was good in Northman as well.
Yeah,
As a
Northman.
villain.
I think she also did Atomic Blonde. That was I thought it was a really good movie.
She was
I don't
in
remember
The Italian Job.
She was in the Orville.
Was
she's
she
in
in
a
the Orville?
lot of stuff.
Yeah, but she's worth it. She's good.
She
Yeah.
also did the live action version of Aeon Flux, which I thought that
Yep.
was a
Yeah.
horrible movie, but I mean whatever.
Oh,
Oddly enough, I
think
watched
know what
that
movie
like
you're
4 or
talking about.
5
Is that the one where
times.
is that the one where the black chick like she read
She had
genetics
the
her
hands
feet
for
to be
feet.
hands?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's based on a comic, isn't it?
Yeah,
It was based
yeah,
on
anime.
some by Peter Chung, and it was short episodes on MTV, and he was trying to figure out where the line was. You know, how edgy does he want it to be? And then he said, "You know what? Screw it. How far can I push this line?" And then he ended up one consistency through each episode was she died at the end of every single episode.
Damn.
I don't
But I do
think she
remember
ever
that movie.
spoke either. I think it was all like just action, not much for lines, if any.
The reason I remember that movie the most is back on when that movie come out, early 2000s.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Either way, I remember the fucking commercials on like the DVDs playing for it. And I think it was for DVD, marketing for the DVD and all the stuff, and it just had the scene with the grass.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
But that was one of those. There was a series that they tried to condense down into a movie, and they just. I felt like it just rushed right through the movie. So they actually, if they were going to do something, they kind of needed to make maybe 2 or 3 movies out of it. But
it kind of reminded me of like Logan's Run.
yeah,
Well, anyway, it's starting to get late, and there's a couple things I want to get to before we wrap up. First, hang on, I have a start thing here. Let me bring that up. Yeah, Stormcrow, I would love to have you on the stream. You just gotta chip away the rough edges a little bit more. You gotta learn where those boundaries are for when it's appropriate to speak up and not speak up, and you know what I mean. You gotta smooth it up a little there. So when you get the better bearings, I would love to have you on because you do have a fascinating mind, a lot of cool ideas. But the humor does push a little too far for public broadcast sometimes. So yeah, I would like to have you on, and I know you're working on stuff, and I'd love to discuss that with you on here sometime soon. Just gotta chip away them rough edges a bit.
Gino, the most memorable part of that movie is the grass scene, the bladed grass.
Oh, that made me cringe so much. It really did.
What?
Yeah, her when she landed on the weaponized grass with those feet, and it was like,
Okay, what type of cringe are you mentioning? You're mentioning like cringe, like ooh that hurt, or are you
yeah,
mentioning cringe as this is shit?
no cringe and ooh, that would hurt. It was a
Okay.
bit of a mind mess. Right. Let's see. Another thing I wanted to bring up was I wanted to check out Cross Comics page.
Wow.
So let's go check it out. Community. Oh wait, no. I meant. Where's the about?
keep going.
Oh, there we go.
There it
Or
is.
in Canada, about.
A boot. All right. Oops, almost dropped the computer. Cross Comics is the creation of Cross Comics Universe and the drawing of other well-known characters, as well as giving inspiration with verse of the day. Cool. And we were just speaking earlier about how a lot of Christian entertainment doesn't really grab, so this might be another opportunity to really bring that out, because I think we're going to see a lot more of that. People from of a more religious background having better stories and bringing that into the culture. Okay. Cross Comics, do you have a do you have like a primary video for that goes over what you're doing on the channel?
Hang on, let me see if I can find something here.
Sometimes if you just jump right into a random video with no context, it's got book reviews, Old Testament study, the Canadian Shield, issue 1, remastered, page 22.
Hang on, I will get. This is one of his previous. Hang on, private. This is one of his previous comics.
All right.
And it's on Indiegogo.
The Canadian Shield, issue 1.
You have to go ahead about this
Hey,
campaign.
frequency. I'm getting a news report or something. Something about Jewish space lasers.
Jewish space lasers.
There we go.
Jewish space lasers.
That's better. It kind of cut itself off on the first one. Okay,
Wow.
let's check out. This campaign might be over, but still, let's check it out.
Cross Comics.
Whoops.
Hello, all. My name is Rick Piper, the creator and owner of Cross Comics and all which it entails, the Flame, Snowdrift. But the one that I want to start it all off with, that I want to bring it to you today, is the Canadian Shield. He is from a time long ago. He's been brought into the present. He's given a suit with fantastic powers, and that suit is from the future. Thus, where the past, the present, and the future collide, because the suit and him are in the here and the now. So, take a read as you look down. Hopefully, you will be very much interested. This is a great project to get into. It's not just the birth of a character, it's the birth of a universe, the crossverse of Cross Comics.
Cool.
So, did my plug.
All right. And so we're going to have to check that out in detail another time because we are coming near the end of the night. But I definitely do want to dig into that. Also, I have one other thing up here. Readout sent me the link earlier. I think it was Readout, and I wanted to. Here it is.
Actually, that was Raven Nevermore.
Oh, it was Raven?
Yep.
Okay, it was somebody who started with an R.
But he was sounding like Readout when he said it. So
yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry,
the
Raven.
Yeah.
he was using his Readout AI voice changer.
Yeah.
Gotta drop a lot of yins.
So, Raven, anything you want to mention about this before I play the preview?
There's still crowdfunding on it. They've raised, let's see, they've raised a good amount of money. Dang it, I can't find it right now. They're trying to get 61 million, I think. And they're only about 51 million. But it looks really good at what they currently have available. And like, I'm not suggesting anybody else should invest as much money in it, but I've invested a couple $100 in it.
All right, well, I will drop that link in the chat. And then after that, we'll check out the preview. And then we're going to go through the rest of the chat because we got some more posts down there I haven't read yet. All right, there's the link. And here we go. If the volume's too loud, let me know.
Look into my eyes.
Bring it down.
Do you see fear? You come at me with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the God of Israel. Yes! Right between the eyes! Did you see that? Anyone? Of course not. Okay, then.
His fans are a bunch of sheep.
Tally, not now. I'm trying to protect us from this Philistine. Whoa. No, not that way. Come on.
For small studios, this is some phenomenal 3D animation.
Right, Philistine.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
There-
Right between the eyes.
Me at work.
Oh, of course.
This is why Shad talks so bad about nunchucks all the time.
Sally, no! I'm coming, girl! Whoa, easy! Shira! I will bring her home safely. Whoa!
Is this setting anyone's mind on when DreamWorks did Prince of Egypt?
Yeah.
A little, yeah.
That's
How long has that
actually.
been gone?
They actually mentioned that in the some of the description.
Hey, whoa, Sally, wait, no! There you go. I'm almost through.
Can you imagine landing on rock like that in bare feet?
Oh, it's been 20.
I try
What?
not to.
It's been 22 years since the Prince of Egypt.
Yeah.
I like that movie. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh yeah, they also done Sinbad.
My favorite from them is still Road to El Dorado.
See, I really don't care for Sinbad. The only thing I liked was the villain. She was hot.
Okay. Tally, stop!
And it's been a very long time since I've watched Atlantis.
Use the whip.
Oh, that doesn't help. That does. Stop. Thank you.
Thank you for breaking my spine.
Gets up. Crack, 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 crack.
Yena haleni nafshi yeshobeh yancheni b'mgalet tzedek.
Imagine us getting copyright for that.
You know what? I'm not all that worried about it.
Oh, we're going YouTube hell for this.
That's fine, as long as we're as long as people are seeing the preview.
You get copyright for like Mick Jagger for no reason.
That'd be great.
Oh, that's definitely some high quality animation.
Yep. They've got some more information farther down the page on it. I believe they've got people that have worked through Finding Nemo, Moana, Tangled, Ever After.
Yeah, these are ex-Pixar and Disney animators.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the actual good ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently. Have a great night, Stormcrow.
Because hell, none of the original people from Pixar are left. None of them. They're all gone.
And they're working on things like this.
Yep.
Okay, so they're getting pretty close to that goal of 51. Am I reading that right? 51 mil of 60?
Yep.
Yeah, so cool. We're definitely going to want to share this around.
But they have a couple different price points, and they're pricey. Bare minimum investment, I believe, is $100. But I think currently the shares are $1.25 per share, so you have to kind of buy it in that type of volume. Luckily, I got in on the first round of investing, and I put in $500.
Awesome. There is being anointed.
And I'm like, whether it makes any money or not, I don't care, because I want to be able to get my own copy of it, just because this movie, like you guys said, looks like Prince of Egypt.
Sweet. Yeah, thank you for sharing that link. That looks really good. I'm going to want to put that link around to all the social media, let as many people see that as possible.
Yeah, and I don't know what the time frame is on it. I still haven't seen what it is. I think it's probably another couple of years before it will be released.
See if it says up here. I'm not seeing not off the bat anyway. I'm not seeing a deadline. I'm sure there is one somewhere in here, but
Yeah, I think my original investment I made back in November. Let's see if I can actually see. Yeah, back in November last year.
oh, so do you,
All right, Maji, parting plugs.
yes, tell us, where can we find the absolute best, the finest, the cutting edge technology smoke detectors?
Gino said he'll crowdfund you.
In hardware at your
dollars.
local superstore, they're usually located near the light bulbs.
Or ask your local fire department.
Batteries are usually up front by checkout.
Why aren't you getting them then?
Yeah, I'm asking myself that the same thing.
So read out parting plugs.
They have so much to say. My spiels are too long. So if you want history videos, content, you want to learn about our shared past, go subscribe to Read Out Productions. I try to post a video every week. I don't know if I'm going to make it through on that promise this week. There's no weekly stream this week because I'm going to go see Oppenheimer when I normally stream. But normally, yeah, I stream Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then if you want to listen to me talk about pop culture, go to the Heterochrome Media podcast.
Yeah, and let them know what you got on there this week.
We'll be doing a reading of My Immortal, the most infamous fanfic ever to exist. Join
When
me,
are you
Billy,
doing that?
Lord Otter. I've yet to figure that out. I'm being roped into this. This is a hostage situation, and I'm the victim.
Don't worry, me too.
By the way, Readout, I did try to fix those links. I put new links in there. I don't know why they're not.
I have no idea why.
Because those are the right links. They're just not functioning. If they decide to start working, those links are still down in the description below. But I don't know what more I can do.
YouTube
page
hates
doing a book review for Herman's on Amazon. Doing a little book review.
Herman, did you give your part and plug?
No, I didn't, but I figured we could all do it together.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Buy my book. Raven.
I'm still trying to put the house up on the market. But otherwise, yeah, check out the David movie. Help it out a little.
All right. Billy Bob, you got anything you want to bring up tonight before we go?
I'm doing a book review for Herman's. Kapla, kapla, kapla.
Must have been a good review because that was 3 kaplas.
Yes, it was very, very, very successful. All right. Well, there is something I want to bring up because, unfortunately, due to scheduling, somebody hasn't been able to make it the last couple of weeks, and we haven't brought this up for a little bit. So, whoops, where's my button? How'd you guess? There we go. World Without End. Go check.
There we are.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still working away at it. Just because he can't make it on stream doesn't mean he stops. He's been busy. He's got things going on, and the world is just awesome to go check out. There's so many short stories, but all within the continuity, and they're eventually going to start converging, from what I understand. So go check it out. worldwithoutendlore.substack. There's the link down in the description. Oh, and also there's this. There's a little thing called Haley Star Bad Kitty. It's a great time. Go check it out. Fun for the whole family. And if you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like. If you didn't, I appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time, and God bless.
Wait, how did a smoke detector become my parting plug?
It is now. Get them batteries, Maji.
Shout something out while you can.
Check out IronAge.media. New prompts every other week.
And that link is in the description below. Down in the chat, thank you everyone for stopping in and joining us. It's been a good time. Gino, Guilty Gearhead, Stormcrow, got Cross Comics. Billy
And for the record, I'm not affiliated. I just
Bob
like
Sack
shout
is down there
out.
too. How did that happen? Raven Nevermore. Hey, that's.
Yeah, I was shouting out.
But we also got
T.S.
Gino. We
Bowl.
got
You know who T.S. Bowl is, don't you?
Sybil.
No,
Sybil.
it's T.S. Bowl.
Oh, I
now.
still got you on full screen. Sorry, Maji.
It is T.S. Bowl now. Okay?
Really? Because I asked him how it's pronounced. He said Sybil.
Eric July has spoken.
Eric July has spoken.
Oh wait, I think I did hear that.
Immediately when I heard that, I just messaged him. T.S. Bowl.
All right, Kapla. You know what? The music is played through. It's just looping, and we're still kind of rambling. So let's end this so
Peace out.
smoothly. All right, where is it? Have a great night, everybody, and never forget.
Jewish space lasers.
Good night.